Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky? It might be almost to the point of Ruth.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
On 100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Tausch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Monday edition. The Game 2 of the NLDS edition. The whole world is there. Mark Tauscher's going to be there. Jesse Nelson and Up North Joe are going to be there. I'm not going to be there. Edition. The bye is over. The Packers are back to work. They are practicing at 10:30 without me. I know they'll somehow manage. They're also opening up the locker room earlier, so look forward to the Mark Tauscher and Riley Yauk show for the last couple segments, potentially, edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need, except, of course, a connection to Spotify. On the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free, all-customizable ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find in both the Android and Apple app stores, and serves as a very good substitute until Spotify gets its blank together. We're just going to start playing Jesse original music in and out of breaks. I think that'll solve the problem. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is not here to play original music. He took the day off because he's going to the game tonight. I think that's how this worked. And then did not alter his plan.
I never understood about that. The game was either going to be at 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock, right? There never was a 2 o'clock schedule because the NL was not playing, or the AL was not going to play today.
Yeah, they played yesterday. Yeah.
Riley, am I wrong?
I don't believe so.
But on the bright side, we get young Riley Yauk as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Riley, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Not only that, but now you might get to host a little bit. And, of course, from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, Jason. How are you?
Good. Do you have your game face on yet?
My game face.
Well, I always think of Bob Knight when he does that, when somebody asks him at the NCAA tournament what a game face is, and he's making all of
No, I don't have a game face, but I'll say this. I'm incredibly excited. We had the Brewers updates as the Michigan-Wisconsin game was starting to unwind there in the second half. And there is a mania. There is a Brewers mania, and I'm excited to get down there. I don't love the start time. For me, personally, I'm pretty sure tomorrow I'll probably be cranky and a little bit tired, but hopefully it'll be coming back with a big fat W coming back from AmFam Field.
So will you be spreading joy and positive vibes? That I gotta say, and again, There are times when you and I don't see eye to eye, but we agree on UW Credit Union, and we agree, even when I give you a hard time for not waving, that you are beloved. That video that the Brewers and UW Credit Union put out of you handing out signed baseballs and footballs and, chatting it up, kissing babies, shaking hands, more fist bumping, really, because you're trying to keep your prediction that the handshake had been eliminated to go. How much fun was that? And then the vibes carried over into a big W in Game 1.
It was awesome, and that the whole that whole concept of what UW Credit Union and the Brewers have, where you go up to the fourth deck forever. They do this every game, by the way, and they just find a family.
I didn't know. Yeah,
every game somebody from the Brewers gets to go, and I was asking there's 2 or 3 folks that do it. The gal I was with that night, I said that's got to be what a fun job, because you're going to always get somebody smiling and being happy about that. So that part is really cool, and obviously all of that angst. I think I said on Friday that Saturday's game was a must-win for the Brewers for a lot of reasons, but mainly because their horse was out. And by the way, there you go. Brandon Woodruff pretty much told you, and Brandon Woodruff's been around a lot longer. And definitely, clubhouse. He's been around a long time, and he basically said the same thing. Everybody understood that when you have your guy going, the psychological part of that, if they beat you, there's a little more doubt that comes into your head. And then when you're starting Ashby and you're going to bullpen day, now you do it up 1, and I think everybody has the mentality of, in Murph we trust. I know I do. I don't know if Jesse and Up North Joe do, but that's the vibe, and you're just in a much better spot heading into tonight.
So tonight, first pitch is at 8:08 Central Daylight Time.
That's late.
According to MLB.com, it is Shota Imanaga. How do I say that? And Aaron Ashby.
Okay.
That's what MLB.com has. So when you say that, and look, Aaron Ashby, 5-2, 2.16 ERA. They don't have their horse going tonight. So how does that change you and Woody's calculus? Because obviously you want to go 2-0 and go to Chicago needing 1 game.
Well, you want to go 1-0 again. I don't think you look at it as going 2-0. You look at it as going 1-0.
1-0 every game. Sure, yeah. Thanks,
I was going to say on Friday when we did our Steinhoffel sleepers, and I'm glad I ended up not going with Choreo because obviously he started off guns blazing, 3 for 3, pulls his hammy. We don't know to what degree. He was out there slow jogging a little bit yesterday. But I thought Ashby was going to be one of the key figures in this because he's been so good and he's been so versatile, figuring out how to utilize him in a big way. Who knows? I think everybody is kind of assuming that he's going to throw 2 innings and then they're going to hand it over to Priester. I think that's the assumption. I know we have a Brewers expert joining us later in the show to probably break that down more than I can.
Dom Cotroneo scheduled to appear 11:15.
The question I have is, if he's going, do you roll? I mean, do you go? Can you try to get 3 and maybe 4 innings out of him? I don't know. I would think 3 innings will be the max that he gets tonight, but at this point, we've seen this movie before, and I got to give my younger brother Pat credit. Remember Pat joined us way back in the beginning of the show?
I
Probably
do remember this.
first or second year.
Uh-huh.
And his point was,
man ahead of his
with
time.
some of these teams that can't afford to pay a Paul Skeens $45 million or whoever is making big money in today's day and age, why not just get a bunch of flame-throwing fools that can give you 1 or 2 innings and you go about your business that way? Well, the Brewers have kind of implemented that. Now, we haven't had the postseason success since 2018, but tonight will be a big indicator of Pat's philosophy is going to be something that you're going to want to continue on, or I still think I want Freddie. I want somebody giving me 5, 6, 6, 7 innings that can get it done. That's what I'm still looking for.
Do you want him
when you're limited?
Do you want him being Oral Hershiser in the 1988 World Series, where he pitches like 4 of the 7 games or whatever he did?
I want Dave Stewart. I want Jack Morris. I want Oral Hershiser. Those are the guys I want out there. The dude
and you
from
want
the Yankees
Tommy
that
John
pitched 7
surgery.
Schlitzky. Yeah, that's the guy. I want horses.
Okay.
I want to have horses.
Mike
I want
Caldwell.
Sabathia.
Pete Vukovich. Those type of guys. Throw it till their arm falls off, and then they throw with their other arm. I don't think that's how it works.
It's hard to have a baseball conversation with you.
What?
I don't know where to go from that. What, you're saying Pete Vukovich is going to throw right-handed and left. What is he, Mickey Vandehey? Being able to throw
I'm saying
right-handed and left-handed in a doubleheader?
You're living in the past, man. Pitchers don't do that sort of thing. What, Nolan Ryan? Come on. They don't do it. It's a different
Yankees,
era.
Dude, that Schlitzky just shut down the Red Sox.
Yeah,
I'm not asking you to throw 180 pitches.
Hey, you know why he's a good story? It's because nobody does that stuff anymore.
Didn't the dude from the Red Sox the first game throw 120? Didn't Scooball throwing up 120 plus? Like they're still there. Nah, it's unusual, but it's unusual to win a world championship too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. So
Riley, are you excited? Riley, how did you feel when you heard? Because I think we all thought Priester was going to start tonight.
Yeah.
I know I did.
I know initially.
What was the vibe when you heard that?
Initially, I was very nervous and apprehensive because I was like, why don't we just ride our horse? Outside of his last start against the Reds, the Brewers hadn't lost.
Pitch Peralta again?
No.
That's a bold strategy.
Our horse number 2, our second string horse. Because outside of his last start against the Reds, the Brewers had won the last 19 games in which he pitched.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, but then one of my friends, who is a college baseball coach, informed me that the Cubs have a very left-handed dominant top of the lineup. So they're rolling with Ashby for ideally the first 2 innings, take care of those lefties, then bang, Priester's in for the next 5. Then you roll it to Abner, McGill to finish us off. Boom, Brewers up 2-0 heading to Wrigley. Now I'm feeling good.
Right. Pretty good formula.
Yep.
But then the question I have is, okay, you get them the first, but then what about when they come up the second time?
What do you mean they come up the second time? Ashby goes through
Your
the first
top
6 batters.
left-handed part of your order. You get through it, but you're still, at some point, Priester's got to get him, right?
Yeah, exactly. But if you can...
So what, you just want to start fast and not let it happen? Or that's the question, because obviously Quinn is more apt and more in sync with starting games. I am not opposed to this, and I trust Murph. He has a great pulse on this team and understands what they're going to need to do. But you act as if, well, you get through that. Well, you're still going to have to face him. It's just going to be in the 3rd, 4th inning rather than the 1st, 2nd.
Yeah, but then you already have...
in the 6th, 7th.
It's all about eating innings and getting outs in the playoffs. And then Priester, say he only has to go 5 today, he's available in a clinching scenario, probably not for Game 3, but Game 4. He's available out of the bullpen potentially, able to come in. I feel like you just have more options if Ashby's able to get 2 innings right off the bat.
Okay, so can you guys explain the offensive output, all the doubles? Obviously you saw the highlights, but can you watched it live, I'm sure, Riley. Can you give me a taste of how that all played out?
Yeah, so the first inning, Matthew Boyd, I have some friends who are Cubs fans. They were pissed that Council put Matthew Boyd out there. He was on short rest, and he was serving up meatballs that first inning. Every pitch, because they got 3 doubles in the first inning on 6 pitches. Everything was right down the pipe, and then they were just drilling it to the gaps and down the lines. So then they started hot, and then every ground ball had eyes, made it to the outfield. Blake Perkins had an insane at-bat that went 12 pitches, drove a single up the middle. They were just playing Brewers baseball. Sal Frelick forced an error at second by hustling out an infield single. It was peak Murph ball. They put the pressure on the Cubs. The defense crumbled, having good at-bats, hitting line drives, and then you had Cubs fans crying that, they didn't hit home runs. If the Cubs outslugged the Brewers the whole series, I'm feeling good. Cubs in 4. People say the way the Brewers play can't win in the playoffs. So far, through one game, not true.
Yeah, through one game.
Through one game. Long way to go.
I did think, because as the Craig Counsell, I wouldn't go so far as to say apologist, but I don't hold the same level of vitriol as the normal producer of the program who, as the folks in the YouTube comments are pointing out, is off yet again. Clearly more days off than even Tausch and I combined at this point. I do find myself wondering if I need to inquire with HR on what his complement of days off is, because he sure has gone a lot. He obviously hates Craig Counsell with a white-hot passion. I will say Craig was very testy after the game about his decision on whom to pitch in Game 1. And at one point he said the entire organization was okay with it, which is not, that was a bad sign. And I believe, if I read the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel coverage accurately, that he had not been very good on short rest previously. So it was kind of a cross your fingers and hope that past history did not repeat itself, and obviously it did. So that's a shame. Hate to see that for all those Cubs fans. Tausch, we're going to talk more Brewers. As you mentioned, we've got Dom Cotroneo of 620 WTMJ scheduled to appear later in the program at 11:15. We'll talk a little bit about the Packers as well as they return to practice. They'll practice at 10:30 this morning. Just a light little get back in the swing of things after the bye week. And then they will take on the foundering Cincinnati Bengals, who are having a very difficult time without their quarterback, having lost Joe Burrow for 3 months to a serious toe injury. We'll talk about that as well, but we can't talk about anything else until we've talked about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, when it comes to your home, the smart play is to trust Gina Della and her great team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And this month, you can score a whole house of new, energy-efficient Pella windows for as low as $297 a month with 0 interest for all the way up to 60 months. It's like a drive you can sustain for years, keeping your home comfortable thanks to the incredible defense played by Pella Windows, stopping all of those drafts getting out there. Don't wait now. Schedule that free consultation today at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions do apply.
I didn't think I'd ever see this happen. But in the ESPN Milwaukee chat on YouTube, B says, "No, Jesse, I'm out of here." Somebody's not listening or watching the show because Jesse's not on?
That might be his Aunt B.
It's a decision.
Like Andy Griffith.
It's a decision. Not sure it's a good one. Well, if you've decided to stick around, even without Jesse, we have more from Wilde and Tausch next. So stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, and you know how much I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid, participating in their legendary Book It program. Man, I loved getting those personal pizzas, and Pizza Hut's latest offer has me feeling a blast from the past. Introducing Pizza Hut's $5 crafted flats pizzas. 5 bold, hand-stretched personal pizza recipes, 3 cheese, pepperoni duo, the ultimate, and for a limited time, chicken, bacon, ranch, and Nashville hot chicken. Each of these crafted flats pizzas, just $5. All day, every day, making them perfect options for lunch, dinner, or game day. Order your $5 crafted flats pizza at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. $5 crafted flats pizzas, only at Pizza Hut. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Time out on the field. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month? Wayne, a whole house of new windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 60 months.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no extra interest.
And unlike opponents, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin actually stops the drafts.
Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 10/31/2025.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Bring your family out to the next Forward Madison FC game. Their family special, sponsored by Madison Gas and Electric, is the perfect budget-friendly option for any families to enjoy professional soccer in Madison. For just $21, get your game ticket, plus a meal and scarf. Get your family together and come cheer on the Mingos as they make their playoff push. Head to ForwardMadisonFC.com to learn more and get your tickets today. That's ForwardMadisonFC.com.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
We'll circle back to the Brewers periodically throughout today's show as Tausch and Jesse. And you got a lot of friends going to the ball game tonight? Yeah, you.
Talking to Riley?
Co-host of the program. Yeah, no, you.
There's I think pretty much, if you're a Brewers fan and you have access tonight, you're going to the game. I'm going with 3 buddies. There's going to... I'm assuming everything has been sold out, and it sounds as if the Brewers held off Cubs fans pretty good on Saturday. I'm assuming that'll be the case again tonight, would be my hunch.
Riley, are you going? Are you one of Tausch's buddies?
I am unfortunately not going, but my dad is going, so that'll be awesome. I'll be watching in a bar with my pals tonight. So
I'll go boo in a bar.
Yeah,
and when they show Craig Counsell, you're going to be the guy who boos at a bar.
Exactly.
The Packers return to work this morning as they are practicing at 10:30. We'll have locker room a little bit before noon. It was supposed to be later than that, but now it's not. Tausch, what's the biggest challenge when you come back from a bye week? Do you snap right back into it?
I don't think it's a huge challenge. It's on your mind. Obviously, you can decompress a little bit, but you just jump right back into it. I think it's always smart to kind of have a day like what Matt is having. You come in there for an hour and some change, move around, get back into kind of the swing of things. Nothing too detailed. It's more of you had 3-4 days off. Let's get you back in here. Let's get you moving. Let's get your mind back on football because you have a 13-game run here without any more breaks. You had your break. Now it's go time. So I don't think that, especially this early in the season, the big challenge is when, for the guys that fly home and go do stuff and are getting back to that nice sense of normalcy, you're kind of at that, oh, boy, this is really nice, but everybody knows what time it is. And today will be a day to kind of reignite that part of your life.
So the Cincinnati Bengals started the season 2-0. They defeated
barely.
the Cleveland
Even
Browns
with Burrow,
17-16. Then they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-27.
There can't be they can't play Browning on Sunday. They can't. He is a turnover machine, and so for Green Bay, I think everybody's got to just Jeff Hafley's got to be just absolutely salivating. No, you're not getting enough turnovers. You're not doing that's going to be. I think this is going to be your talking point for the week. You got to get right. Your defense is really good, but you're not creating the turnovers even that you did last year. Mm-hmm. Well, if they play Browning and they don't get turnovers, that's on them because he is a turnover machine. He throws the ball up. I think that Cincinnati game, which I found interesting. We're going up to the game. It is the hottest ticket in a long time. You talk to people that have tickets. Yes, it is a incredibly expensive ticket. The second market on it is crazy, and I'm trying to think why. And I've gotten different answers from different people. Some have said, well, you haven't had a home game in forever. Well, it's going to be
a month.
Because then you go on the road for 2 more, right? Pittsburgh or Arizona and Pittsburgh. So you're going to have 1 home game. The weather is going to be fantastic. But I thought with Burrow, yes, it could be a sexy ticket. And when Burrow got hurt, he's missing a heck of a lot more time with his turf toe than you did. I thought, whatever. And it turns out this is going to be one of the probably most, until the playoffs, if Green Bay makes it, which I think they will, this is going to be one of the most expensive tickets that Lambeau has this season, probably outside of the opener against Detroit.
Since Joe Burrow's injury, the Cincinnati Bengals have lost to the Minnesota Vikings 48-10.
Yeah, it wasn't that close.
The Denver Broncos 28-3. And then that was the score yesterday until some cosmetic scores late. But it was 28-3 Lions. The ultimate final score was 37-24.
Yeah,
so they
You had 3 games that weren't that close. No, Cincinnati stinks.
To your point,
Cincinnati stinks.
Jake Browning-Nagel has thrown 8 interceptions. On the bright side, he hasn't lost a fumble. So he's got that going for him, which is nice. The Packers are 14.5-point favorites to open.
I don't think that's enough. All
right, I'd like to explore that further because I'm curious what you're basing that on. Because
Did you watch? Did you watch him play Detroit?
I did, and they ultimately won that game by 13 points.
By the way, the NFL needs to. I get it, man. They got to make money, and they get the NFL package, NFL Plus, and all this other stuff. When there's a good game on, like the Buccaneers in Seattle, let's get that. It's 28-3. All right, you're forcing us to watch because you think we're interested in markets close to us. All right, fine. I
Division
kind of understand.
Team,
I don't
next
really.
Opponent.
I don't really understand it, but okay. When there's a big boy game on like that, let's go. Like, come on.
Well, that's why they want you to get the
I
package.
understand.
It's the whole idea.
And red zone's fine and all that's fine, but come on. Come on.
We'll discuss more why Tausch is so confident in a team that has gone 0-1-1 in its last 2 performances, although they are back at Lambeau Field where they've been pretty good. After Tausch tells us about the Tito's that Jesse and Up North Joe will be using to make their Harvey's wall bangers out in the parking lot at AmFam Field.
That was the text that we got this morning when I forgot. Sent Jesse 4 or 5 notes yesterday for the show. Riley says, hey, where's our show sheet? Ideas. And I said, I forgot Jesse's taking another day because he's having a Tito's with his boy Up North Joe probably pretty soon. Going to mix it with a bloody. Probably going to go out and play a little golf today. Going to have a transfusion. And he can do whatever he wants tonight as a nightcap, hopefully for a big Brewers win, whether that's tonic, ginger ale. I like lemonade, cranberry. Tito's is always going to be in my glass as well. And Tito's gives back in a big way, partnering with nonprofits and doing real good in communities across the country, especially for our 4-legged friends. So the next time you're raising a glass, make it with Tito's handmade vodka, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Can I ask a quick question? For as long as Tito's has been a partner, which is a long time, very loyal partner.
It's been they're one of our founders. They're a founding
I have never heard you drop a Tito's and tonic. Is that a new twist?
No, I've said it.
A lot of muddling. I don't remember tonic.
Yeah, we had the mojito phase, the Tito-hito phase.
You went through Motito. All right. I was just curious. That stuck out to me.
Okay.
It also stuck out to me that Mark Tauscher, Packers Hall of Famer, said, when I said it was a 14.5-point line per ESPN bet, that's not big enough. He will explain himself, other than saying, have you not watched the games? Next.
Usually it's a good indicator.
It's Wilde and Tausch.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. As the football season rolls on, the baseball playoffs take center stage and the days get shorter and shorter. You know what that means. And whether you want to hear it or not, winter is creeping up just around the corner. So here's the thing. You can choose to ignore that the brutal Wisconsin winter is quickly approaching, or you can do the smart thing and think about getting your vehicle prepared now so you don't have any issues when that slippery snow first falls. Well, I recommend stopping in to see the amazing service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires. It's a big one for winter. Change the oil, and make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape. You can take my word for it. From summer road trips all around the state to driving to work in the tumultuous Wisconsin winter, Zimbrick Chevrolet is truly the name you can trust. Schedule a service appointment, view vehicle inventory, and learn more about all they have to offer at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Played like a pro but felt like an amateur? Twisted your ankle or jammed a finger under the Friday night lights? At Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, their Saturday Sports Injury Clinic has you covered. Skip the emergency room circus, dodge the waiting room sitcom, and get expert care from the pros who actually know sports injuries. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Walk into their location off the Beltline and get back in the game. Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, your comeback starts here.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
When it comes to your career, most companies want you to be interested in them. At Northwestern Mutual, their mutual interest is you. That's why they listen to your career goals, plan the steps to get there, and work side by side all along the way. To learn more about career opportunities, search for Northwestern Mutual Southern Wisconsin online or call 608-836-3080. That's 608-836-3080. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here with a refreshing offer for a bath or shower remodel from Kohler Services. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. My new friend Chris from Oostburg is one of their skilled installers who demos your existing bath or shower, removes it, and disposes it before installing your brand new dream shower. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
It's the Brewers versus the Cubs.
Perkins, line drive, back up the middle, a base hit. Blake Perkins delivers on the 11th pitch of the at-bat.
Catch every Milwaukee Brewers postseason game right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
DJ Jazzy Riley playing all the hits today as we get ready for Brewers-Cubs game 2. Hopefully, the Brewers can do the same thing to the Cubs, as I've seen the Toronto Blue Jays do to the New York Yankees, bludgeoning them in back-to-back games. I want to ask Tausch about that a little bit later in the program. But I want Tausch to explain himself. Defend your position. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's a really big spread in an NFL game, is it not? You don't see 14 and a half very often.
Anything over 2 scores, I think people start looking at it because, as you mentioned yesterday, Detroit dominated that game, and they gave some stuff up late. I get it, and professional sports is a competitive. There's a lot of upsets. You saw it with college this weekend with Penn State not only not covering but getting their blanks beat out in UCLA, which
that was awesome, by the way.
UCLA I thought was the worst team in college football, and it turns out Penn State's worse, at least on that Saturday. So that's why I kind of take a beat. All right, I thought the spread would be right about where it's at. But you just get the sense with where Green Bay is and the fact it's a home game and the fact you've had 2 really disappointing performances by your offense against Cleveland and your defense against the Dallas Cowboys, and then special teams-wise it's been disappointing. This has all the markings to me of an absolute drubbing. So 14.5, 20.5, whatever it might be, I would bet by the end of the week, usually when you see a number that big, 14.5, you'll end up seeing it kind of trickle down to under 2 scores. I bet this gets closer to 16.5 before the end of the week than it does 13.5. Maybe I'll be wrong.
So the The Bengals' other option at quarterback at the moment is Brett Rippon.
Oh, God. I mean, he was with Minnesota, and we said he had no business. Wasn't he with Minnesota? He had no business playing.
And and if I recall correctly, like he had played for a while, and then Kevin O'Connell didn't want to play him either. But you know who the next option is? Sean Clifford.
Sean Menenga. Okay.
Not Sean Menenga, no. But I kind of want to see Sean Clifford get a shot. Can't be worse. Can he? I mean, maybe he can, but I don't think so. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, Cincinnati is they're in big trouble. I thought their defense, they obviously still have Trey Hendrickson. I would trade Trey Hendrickson if I was them.
Trey Hendrickson would appreciate if they did that. They also have Mike White at quarterback, by the way.
They're done. Their season's over. When Joe Burrow got hurt, you put all your eggs in that basket of that trio. I still think they needed to focus more on running the football and implementing, getting some younger guys on. We'll break down Cincinnati more as we go. Probably not a ton more though, because this needs to be a throttle. This needs to be a throttle game. This needs to be a no doubter, and I think defensively, this needs to be the start. The defense has been really good, obviously, except for that Dallas game. This needs to be the start of that snowball building. It's going to hopefully start getting colder, although looks like it might not freeze now until middle of November, which is insane. Yeah. But let's build that snowball of getting turnovers. You want to get right? Play this group with Browning, with Clifford, with whomever they're going to put in there at quarterback. They don't run the ball. They're going to throw it. Jamar Chase is going to be a huge challenge, obviously, T. Higgins and everything else. But this needs to be the start of that big old snowball, and let's get that puppy rolling. Let's get a little something building as we get moving, because defensively, you're not going to win a championship creating the limited amount of turnovers that Green Bay has so far. That needs to ramp up, and this is the perfect week for that to happen.
When you look, you're going 1-0 every week. You've learned from Shido getting admonished for his undefeated talk, which, by the way, no one
players look at it that way. I'm looking at this as a no doubt. You're going to get right in Arizona with that debacle yesterday.
Yeah, losing to the previously winless Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee's bad. Tennessee's a really bad football team, and you had to literally give them the game. They gave them
21-3. They were leading.
Well, they should have been 28-3 there too, right? Or 27, whatever it was. Kid drops the ball. I don't understand what. Is it that fun to drop the ball right before you score a touchdown?
No, I don't think it's fun. No, fun
that's
is
outside.
Not the word.
That's a young person's thing. That's not my deal. I can't speak on that because I think it's insane. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But Arizona, we'll worry about Arizona next week. I think Cincinnati. This is going to be one of those. I think everybody.
I thought we were snowballing. That was why I mentioned them, because what I wanted to ask you, because you just said you don't have to go 1-0 every week. So I thought we were going to say.
No, as a media member. No. I said as a player, 100% the right man. But that's not what I do. I'm analyzing ahead. Shido shouldn't say that they go 17. I can.
Right. So don't go back to the Bengals. I want to ask you, do you think that they are set up well for this snowballing? Because in lurking around the corner, you've got the Bengals, then you've got the Cardinals, who just gave up a lead, and was that game at home on top of it? Lost to the Tennessee Titans, but then old boy is next in Pittsburgh. And then after that, you've got the Carolina Panthers, who once again stink. So if you believe that you can beat the Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers, and we're not players who have to worry about going 1-0 every week, there is an outlook here of a potential 4-game winning streak to get on, heading into that big-time Monday night matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles, who also lost yesterday.
So here's the deal. This team is not good enough for me to say that at this point. This is a good team at home. What we've seen so far is they're not a good road team. Mm-hmm. And those are the facts. I can sit here and think and hope. What do they say? You can hope in one end and take a bump in the other.
Other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so you could sit here and believe all that. Now, should these next 2 weeks be, relatively like room service type stuff? Yeah, it should be. But the NFL is not like that. That's not how it works.
Any given Sunday.
Until this team can go and win on the road and play a good football game on all three phases, I am going to sit here and be skeptical of what they do. Now, will I predict that they beat Arizona? Yeah, I don't think Arizona's very good either.
No, they don't appear to be.
I think they're better than the team coming in here next week. I think Cincinnati, sans Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson, I don't think it's a great roster. And I think that you're going to see Green Bay's youth and enthusiasm and depth completely pummel what the Cincinnati Bengals are going to try to do. So that's why. But I am not going to sit here and say, they're going to run 4 in a row. No. I think they're going to smash Cincinnati, and then I think there's going to be question marks. Can you go win on the road? There's going to be heat. Are you going to drink pickle juice? How many days early are we going to go? There are going to be 100 different storylines. Kyler Murray. There will be storyline on storyline until Green Bay proves otherwise. I think all Packer fans should have a smidge of skepticism when it goes to road games.
All right, we'll talk more about the Packers and the Brewers as we roll on. The Badgers, meanwhile, while Tausch was calling the game with Matt LePay, I watched most of that. I even missed most of the Brewers' runs.
What'd you think?
Well, let's talk about it next. What do you think? What do you think of that? How do you feel about that?
Let's do it.
All right, well, before we can do that, I need to tell you about Lakeland Supply, who has been an awesome partner. They jumped on board with the show a little bit earlier this year, and we've thoroughly enjoyed our partnership with them. Vince is great, and they're great if you're in the industrial supply space and need their help. Core values are an important piece to any successful business, and Lakeland Supply is no different. They've been displaying their core values in that industrial supply space for over 40 years. Integrity, excellence, stewardship, partnership, and faith. They're ISO certified, a Future 50 winner, top rated in customer service, and believe in giving back to their community. Lakeland isn't one of those catalog companies either. They work to be your packaging and supply expert, building plans around what you want. Lakeland Supply is in business to make your business better. So set up a free packaging and supply chain assessment at lakelandsupply.com. We'll talk a little bit about what the Badgers did and didn't do, and the surprising critique that I was seeing on social media after their loss at Michigan. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Falling short at the Big House, Wisconsin football dropping its third straight, a 24-10 loss at Michigan. The Badgers' opening drive score turning heads, but the Wolverines eventually taking control. Where's Wisconsin coming up empty? Riley Auk dropping his take on the Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show.
Wisconsin needs a playmaker desperately. Even though they played clean, they played solid, they played tough. When you're the underdog, you're the worst team, you need someone to be able to make a game-changing play, and clearly Wisconsin doesn't have that.
Wisconsin College Game Day is your destination before and after every Badger game this season.
Get a whole house of new Pella windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 60 months.
Wow. Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Visit PellaWI.com today.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here. Football season is here, and I've got to tell you, Prize Picks has made every game more fun for me. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made simple. Just pick more or less on at least 2-player projections, like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley finding the end zone, and you're in the game. I love how quick and easy it is. I can set a lineup in less than a minute, and I even get the option to stack a single player across different stats. Want to play it safe? Go with Flex Play. Want the big payout? Try Power Play. And no matter how you play, Prize Picks makes it fun all season long. Withdrawals are fast and secure with Apple Pay, Venmo, and more. And that's why millions of fans, including myself, are already on America's #1 fantasy sports app. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 play. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Milwaukee, it's officially time for October baseball. The energy is electric, the city is buzzing, and there's no better way to celebrate than with Carbless. Carbless is the ready-to-drink cocktail that keeps fans cheering. No sugar, full of flavor, and always refreshingly delicious. Whether you're tailgating outside the stadium, celebrating downtown, or gathering with friends at home, Carbless is your go-to for every big hit, every clutch play, and every Brewers moment. So crack open a Carbless, raise it high, and toast to October baseball in Milwaukee, because nothing goes better with the big stage in baseball than finding your bliss. Visit drinkcarbless.com and see where Carbless is located nearest to you.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every U. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Kayla Landerud from McFarland High School.
Thanks for having me.
So volleyball and track and field.
Yep.
What do you like about volleyball?
I like that everything's different. Like a lot of sports, it's kind of like the same thing. Like basketball, the goal is to get it in the hoop, but volleyball, you have this big court. Every play is different. Every kill is different. So I just like the variety in it.
And when you look back at your time in McFarland, what's going to stand out the most about being a Spartan?
One of my club coaches put it real nicely that at the end of the day, you don't really remember like the games or like some of the sports. You'll remember some of the sporting stuff, but like it's just like the memories you make with the people and the people you meet along the way. So honestly, I'll probably just remember the people and the memories more than anything.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Why do you build me a buttercup, baby, just to let me down, and mess me around, and then worst of all, you never thought, baby, when you see you will, but I love you still.
You are quite the DJ over there. Changing things up when Jesse's away. Good work by our cousin sub of the day, Cousin Subs. We believe in better, Riley Yauk. All right, Tausch. Badgers march right down the field. I have to admit, I did not read my State Journal coverage during the course of the week leading up to Saturday's game as closely as I might normally. Did we know that a quarterback change was coming? Was that out there, or was that a surprise?
I mean, some of us had an idea that was going to happen. I
would hope you would, yeah.
I think there was the thought process that, obviously Hunter came in, did a nice job the last drive, but you're always trying to find different sparks when things are, going a certain way. And I think eventually about the middle of that week, they were splitting reps, and I don't know when Luke and his staff decided to make that switch, but in watching practice, you had an idea that there was some thoughts of making that move. Yeah.
So you make the move. Well, not you, the Badgers coaches do, and then you open the game with a touchdown drive.
Pretty good.
And you and Matt LePay are feeling pretty good on the Varsity app. And I got to be honest, look, I don't have, I want to listen to you guys because I want to support my friends. 1, 2, I am not a Gus Johnson guy. I'm not. It's not my cup of tea. So I was glad to be listening to you guys. Then I had a little bit of a glitch in my syncing, so I had to get that fixed. But what are you thinking I mean, I'm not sitting there going, they're going to go to the big house and win. But for the first time in forever, I was like, all right, here we go. All right, this is interesting. This is different. And then they never scored another touchdown the rest of the way. What did you think of that performance?
It got to be tough sledding. I was really impressed with kind of the way, obviously went with a new center. There was a new right guard, I believe, for part of the, in the beginning of that game. So you're moving guys around, and I think the goal was to, really get back to kind of what Wisconsin football is about and trying to run the football and then do some things. And I thought you executed that drive was executed at a really high level. And unfortunately, Michigan is incredibly talented. They have a lot of guys. And what we saw throughout the end of that game, their wide out McCulley is an absolute stud.
Mm-hmm.
He made 2 or 3 of the best catches. One of them was just completely contested. Another was just a freak show. I could not believe that he got his foot in bounds. And then their tailback is an absolute game wrecker. So eventually we got worn down. Defensively, I thought the guys competed their tails off. I thought the whole team, coming in, there's been a tough 2 weeks. There have been a lot of shrapnel thrown at not only the staff, but the players and everybody involved. And I thought the way that the group came out of the chute, and really for most of the game, it was a high compete. It was just a matter of Michigan had too many playmakers, and we couldn't sustain anything. I think after that first drive, we had 1 6-play drive. We had, I want to say 6, 7 3-and-outs throughout the rest of the game, and that is putting a lot on your defense when you have a running quarterback and a great tailback with a great wide receiver. It just became too much for Wisconsin to hold up, and that's why we ended up getting beat.
So I did not hear this live because I was listening to you guys, and quite frankly, I also had the Brewers on. I'd stopped watching TV. I then had the Brewers game on the television while I was writing, and I had you and Matt on the Varsity app. But apparently, and Jeff points this out in the YouTube comments too, and I had seen this later in the day, Joel Klatt, who was the Tausch of the TV call, was dumbfounded by Fickell not using his timeouts at the end. And I'm curious what kind of conversation you guys had afterward and what his thought process was there, because I thought he explained it in a reasonable way after the game from what I read, but that he was, it bothered me for this reason. We finally felt, I know there's no moral victories, but it felt like something positive had happened. You didn't get run out of the gym. You scored on the opening drive. Your defense played a pretty damn good game given what they were up against. And then the narrative afterward is, Luke Fickell he gave up. And I was like, and look, Michael, it wasn't just bots. It was like people that are Badgers fans once again. And I thought, what a crappy way for the narrative to shift in a game where you actually felt there was encouraging signs. That was how I felt.
Yeah, it was, here's kind of just from our perspective, you're down 14. I think it was 2 minutes and 23 seconds left. Michigan gets the ball. You get onside kick, and Michigan recovered it. And I looked up at the scoreboard because I didn't think Wisconsin had used any timeouts. I just wanted to make sure, because sometimes the holes are filled in, and then sometimes they're empty up on the scoreboard. But if there's dashes, I always say, okay, they have 3 timeouts. And I literally asked Matt as it was going, I said, well, we have 3 timeouts, right? Because, at that point, I would think you'd use the timeouts, right? That's kind of how things go. Now, Luke explained it after the game, and Luke, he is going to have a lot of questions about that. And I agree with you. The unfortunate part is that became the narrative. Was Wisconsin going to come back and win that game?
Spoiler alert,
I would say no.
Yeah.
But Wisconsin sports fans have seen some things.
Usually going against them in those situations.
When you think about how that all played out,
I don't think many Seattle fans probably thought they were going to win that NFC Championship game down 16 and I know that was a longer period of time.
Correct.
But I will be curious on what Luke has to say at his press conference, which I think is this afternoon, on how that goes, because he talked about the offense getting the ball. Well, typically you use your timeouts on defense to get the offense the ball. The offense can control some things, getting the ball out of bounds and things like that.
Yep.
Again, it was a 14-point game.
And his guys were gassed. That was part of his argument, too.
The oddest part of the whole thing was I legit was thinking Seinfeld, and it was almost like Bizarro World. Because when you watch the end of that game, you kind of thought Michigan was behind because they were going to score.
Right.
They could have taken a knee. They could have taken a knee right at the 2-minute timeout after they got that first down, because then you take a knee. Wisconsin wasn't using their timeouts, and you could have ended the game. But instead, they hurried up, and it was almost like they were trying to go down and score to go up 21 in a game that they would just kneel it out and win.
Yeah,
it literally was like the two different cafes and the two different – it was like, what am I missing here? So
Bizarro George.
I'll be curious what Luke has to say again after a couple of days. It's always, you always, when you answer questions after games, there's a lot of emotion and things like that. So after a couple of days, what his commentary will be on that.
All right. Jesse's not in today. He has taken a day off for no reason whatsoever. Riley Yauk is not only our cousin sub of the day, but he did some research to start the 10 o'clock hour for us. I'll give you the insight that he has gleaned from the past 6 seasons, but only after Tausch tells us about how his weekend went on Prize Picks. Was it good to be right, or were you wrong?
I am glad to say I didn't have a rushing touchdown for DeMarcado, the dude from Arizona, because could you imagine if you had a rushing touchdown, 0.5, and you went more on DeMarcado, and he would have had it had he not dropped the ball in front of the end line, how upset you'd be. But I'll tell you, it does make the game more fun. Prize Picks, daily fantasy made simple, and you pick more or less on at least 2 player stat projections, like Josh Allen's passing yards. I think it would have been less last night. Saquon Barkley finding the end zone. I think he did. And you know what's beautiful about Prize Picks? It's quick and easy. You can set a lineup less than a minute. Get the option to stack a single player across different stat lines. If you want to play it safe, you can go with flex play. You want that big payout? Try power play. No matter how you play, Prize Picks makes it fun all season long. Withdrawals, they're fast, safe, and secure. Apple Pay, Venmo, and more. That's why millions are on America's #1 fantasy sports app. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that is code WI for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 play. Prize Picks. It is good
to be right.
To be right. Oh, there you go.
I never know. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. I know this starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going. Lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the executive director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The Packers may have been on a bye, but it was still a busy weekend as the Milwaukee Brewers took Game 1 of their NLDS series with the Chicago Cubs in convincing 9-3 fashion at American Family Field Saturday afternoon. Game 2 is tonight once again inside of beautiful AmFam as Pat Murphy and Milwaukee are rolling out the opener. Aaron Ashby will get the start for the Crew with Quinn Priester almost certainly to follow. Shota Imanaga, the hurler for Craig Counsell and the Cubs. First pitch is scheduled for 8:08 p.m. Central Time. You can watch it on TBS, True TV, stream it on HBO Max, or listen beginning at 7:30 right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Host of Brewers Extra Innings, Dominic Catronio, will be joining Wilde and Tausch at 11:15. Stay tuned.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins with Riley Yao. He's a young go-getter.
He is.
He's an eager beaver. So, Riley, tell the good people of Wilde and Tausch land the research that you did in preparation for today's program.
Yes, so I got to give our content manager, Ashton Rotman, the credit for the idea. He said to
Ashman.
Consider checking out Matt LaFleur's record after bye weeks as a potential topic of discussion today. So I looked it up. I checked it out. And Matt LaFleur is an even 3-3 in the past 6 years.
So, Ashton, it tells us nothing.
Yeah.
He's got an equal chance of winning or losing.
Unfortunately, however, it appears there's been some growth over the past 6 years as his first 2 games after bye weeks. First, the 49ers. It was a massive loss, 37-8 in his first season at the helm in 2019. 2020 got smoked by the Buccaneers, 38-10 after the bye week. Then
75-18 in those 2 games.
Yeah. And then maybe started to figure it out over the next 2 seasons. I mean, granted, he got to play the Bears in his 3rd season, 45-30. Still a lot of points given up after the bye. And in 2022, the Rams, 24-12. And then lost to the Broncos a couple years ago, 19-17, which is an interesting score. And finally, last year, thankfully got to play the Bears again, and by a fingertip, won that game 20-19. So maybe LaFleur's starting to figure it out a little bit.
Although, so they've won 3 of their last 4 after
yes.
buys.
Yep.
All right, so what do we learn from that?
Nothing.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
That was the question I put on the show sheet. Does this say anything at all?
No. All right, what's next? What's your next topic on that? So I do think, and everybody gets caught up in all that because what you're hoping for, well, Andy Reid is 11-4 coming off of a bye week. Well, what you're trying to showcase is our coach is really smart, and you give him extra time, they're going to be so well prepared and so blah, blah, blah. And that's great, and there is probably some value to that. But a lot of it does come down to, well, who are you playing? Are you playing at home or on the road? Mm-hmm. But you try and get sample sizes of things that will let you make some type of estimation on what this can be. And what this tells me is it doesn't tell you anything. It tells me Matt LaFleur is 500 either way. And, yeah, maybe he's gotten a little bit better with what he's, how he's approached this. But for this week and for how this goes, I'll be incredibly disappointed if it's not 4-3 after this week and by a substantial amount because of who you're playing, when you're playing, and what guys are out. Again, the schedule is what it is. When you get it, everybody's excited. But it really is not about who you're playing. It's about when you're playing them. Because I would bet right now that when the Houston Texans got their schedule and they said, oh, week 5, oh, boy, we're going into what's Baltimore known for? Crab cakes. We're going into Crab Cake City.
And football. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson and that great defense and all this. We have no chance. And then they're ahead 35-0. Because Lamar's not playing and Stanley's not playing. They got all these guys out. That's what this comes back to. So it does try. I understand why Ashley wanted to do that, because you want to get a glimpse. Was Matt LaFleur really good coming out of the bye? And it turns out the answer is he is a .500 coach, which isn't anywhere near what his record is on the whole. So I'd actually say if I had to, I would say this is probably a negative that he's only .500.
He is 1-3 coming out of the bye playing on the road. 2-0 when playing at home after the bye, and the Packers are playing at home on Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals, who obviously will not be having their star quarterback, Joe Burrow, under center as he is out for 3 months. 3 months! With a toe surgery. At the same time, Matt LaFleur, I guess he's not undefeated after bye weeks when playing at home, because he once had the most important bye in the history of football. And then they scored one offensive touchdown in that loss to the San Francisco 49ers. But I had a lot of people asking me on our various shows, including on WTMJ, where obviously it's not quite as hardcore sports as you know with Vinny and the boys in the morning. And I was asked about, well, how did practice go this week during the week off? And I had to say, no, Monday, they're out of there. But when you were playing, and this is what I explained, like Mike Sherman used to like hold the bye over you. Like, hey, you win in the game before the bye, and, you're going to have a little extra time off. You lose. Like, I swear there was one year where he practiced the team on Wednesday and Thursday, and then you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday off for the bye, and then you were back to work on Monday. I swear that happened. And then, obviously, in the CBA now, it is uniformity. You have the week off, period, fin, because the NFLPA negotiates the important stuff like that as opposed to lifelong health insurance coverage, etc. Is this better? Is it better? It's obviously better for the players. They get to go, Micah Parsons gets to go to the Texas State Fair and shoot hoops on the Midway and go to Edgerrin Cooper's horse farm. But having played in an era where there was some practice before you got time off, did that increase the likelihood of you being sharper coming out of the bye, or did it have no effect?
Just wait. You're asking if getting a full week off is better than practicing?
Well, I understand getting a full week off is better for your leisure. Is it better for you as a football player that you work at least a little bit before you get your time off? In terms of your actual execution coming out of the bye, where the Packers are 3-3 under Matt LaFleur. Under this policy, by the way, where they're off all the time. The whole week.
Get out of there. No, you're doing 17 weeks. You're going to have a 13 streak run here. You're not going to get a lot. So you can preach mentality and, get to work. Guys know when it's, time to go. And this, especially with the new CBA, players just want to get out. You're not interested. Go do some fundamental work. And, no, get out, get refreshed. This is about getting a mental break. And even though the timing of the bye, I think, stinks for Green Bay, especially with that tie and the fact that these guys would have been chomping to get back out there, now you're asking them to run 13 in a row, and you want them practicing on Wednesday and Thursday?
No. All right, wait a minute now. I didn't say I wanted them practicing. No.
Well, you asked the question like there was even a semblance of an answer that would lean that way.
Like, no.
I think Mike Sherman's record coming out of the bye is
Mike
better
Sherman
than
was
Matt
coaching
LaFleur's.
in the mid-2000s, bro. It's 2025. You're not even.
Are you
the
really,
last 10 years? You're not even allowed
to make an issue of this and tell me, A, that I want them practicing. I don't care.
Well, why
I don't
would
care
you?
if they practice
well,
or
Jason,
not.
you know the answer. You know
No,
the
I
answer
don't
to that
actually.
question.
I would love to
come
take a
on.
week off. Is Jesse a better
Come on.
producer with all the days off he takes? I'm not sure. But my point is that, look, to me, I would rest my guys and give them a great opportunity to hit the reset button because they have a death march ahead of them now. 13 straight weeks of games. You do not want a week 4 bye. So no, I'm not saying that I want them running gassers and doing Oklahoma drills during the bye week. But there was a time not that long ago where coaches still controlled your schedule. Even during your career. 08, 09, 10, it was like that.
Yeah, I've been out a while. There's also a time that Bear Bryant didn't let guys get water. So, Jason, do you think it was better for players when they got to drink water during practice? Like, I get what you're saying, and I understand.
You're such a jerk.
Well, how am I being a jerk? Like, this is what's mandated, and if
You
you're
played
asking
like
me, I
crap
think
offensively in your loss to the Browns. You played like crap defensively in your tie that felt like a loss with the Cowboys. I'm sorry for thinking.
Maybe Micah and Edgerrin had some tackling dummies down at the horse ranch and said, "You know something? Let's get the whole crew. Let's get Van Ness. Let's get everybody out here to work on getting guys down on the ground because we didn't tackle well enough, and we need to do some Charles Tillman peanut punches over there by the hay bale, and an assault block, and this is what we need to do to get better so we can go beat Cincinnati." That's what Jason. Is that what you're advocating for? Because
I'm advocating.
Yes, just like when guys do commercials and they have this. Well, these guys should be doing this. Yes, you get better at playing football by playing football, but you also get better by playing football by getting a mental break and coming in recharged and juiced up. And when you go and you're going to be doing it for this, it was 4 weeks. It would be ideal if it was another 3 or 4 games, and then you get that break. That's not what happened. And if you want, I bet there's some young guys that probably stayed around Green Bay and just went to work. Got back early, worked out in a really nice casual, not the high-stress environment. Go play some pickleball. Maybe that's what some guys did, but I think that the mental part of this is as important, if not more so, than the physical side of getting a couple more reps in. You got a Monday practice. You got a bonus practice this week. Yeah, I think you should give water to guys. I think guys should, when they're hurt, they should not play. And I think in a bye week, you should get out of town and get mentally recharged. If that makes me new-aged and soft, so be it.
I'm not advocating for anything other than for you to tell us about your love of Coors Light.
Riley, when he asked that question, was he not kind of leading like the Packers should have stuck around and done some ball stripping drills?
It's against the rules. So clearly I am not advocating. All I'm asking
Jason,
is if
did
there's
you change your
value
name to
in
Riley?
it or not.
Oh. Riley, am I crazy?
I think you misinterpreted Jason's meaning. I think you're trying to get on Jason a little bit.
Here's the deal. I think I need to be a bigger jerk.
No,
I think I need to be a bigger
you're
jerk.
Sufficiently jerky.
I think I just have been noticing things like Hunter and Jesse and Riley. Why people are so scared of you is amazing.
Maybe you're just wrong.
No, whether you're tailgating pregame. No, it's not. It's not. Whether you're tailgating pregame, enjoying your experience during the game, or celebrating a big Brewers win tonight, and you just need a moment to chill, crack open that Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. It's brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it is made to chill. It's only 102 calories. That's why it is always Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Yeah, I think, you know what, if the Bengals end up beating Green Bay this weekend, I think it's going to be because the boys went down to the state fair and they weren't doing 9-on-7 on Thursday afternoon up in Green Bay on their bye week. That's what I heard from what Jason just said.
We will hear from Matt LaFleur. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Grassland Dairy. With pro football, college football, and the baseball playoffs on full display, October is one of my favorite sports months of the year, just like breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. And you know, no breakfast is complete without the pure and delicious taste of Grassland butter. Grassland Dairy has been serving up delicious taste and high-quality butter from farm to table since 1904. That's over 5 generations. And the key to success for Grassland Dairy over all these years has been the high-quality ingredients that Wisconsin's dairy farmers help produce to give Grassland its pure and delicious flavor. Thank you, farmers, and thank you, Wisconsin, from Grassland Dairy. Butter better with better butter, and there's truly no better product and no better taste than the pure and delicious taste of Grassland butter. Grassland Dairy, crafting butter for 5 generations.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's no second chances. There's no do-overs. We're definitely primed to take that next step. That's the focus and the goal.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, sacrifice, pain to get to where you want to go.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
The Green and Gold enjoyed the weekend off with their bye week, coming off the heels of the 40-40 tie with the Dallas Cowboys. This weekend, the Packers will return to Green Bay to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Here's what head coach Matt LaFleur had to say on what he's looking for out of his team this week.
And I don't expect us to play our best football in September. We've got to get better. I'm more worried about getting better each and every game. Are we disappointed we're not better? Absolutely. But I still think even in the 2 games that we won, I don't think we've put together a full game of complimentary football.
Kickoff on Sunday will be at 3:25 at Lambeau Field. With your Green and Gold Fix, I'm Will Summers.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison is throwing the Halloween party of the year. Join the fun Friday, October 31st at our Halloween Bonanza costume contest. We're giving away $6,000 in cash prizes at our 9 p.m. drawing. But get creative because the better the costume, the bigger the prize. You'll also enjoy a DJ, a free photo booth, a treat bag with a free drink ticket, plus $10 in rewards play when you arrive wearing a costume. Bring your Halloween spirit to
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
At J&K Security Solutions, protecting your home or business is more than just the priority. It's what we do. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. Since 1987, J&K Security Solutions has been committed to providing Madison and Southern Wisconsin with dependable security solutions. Whether it's security, fire, or the latest automation solutions, go to jksecurity.com to see how J&K can help keep your home or business secure. Get protected now at jksecurity.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
We love the Packers. We bleed green and gold. And every time our team takes the field, well, it's pure football bliss. If only there was a way to experience that blissful winning feeling every day. At Associated Bank, we've got you. With 10% off Lambeau concessions and 15% off Pro Shop merch. All when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank. It's how Packers fans keep winning on game day and every day. Associated Bank, Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
So last time we talked to Matt LaFleur, was last Tuesday. We did not get the coordinators, which we normally get during the bye week. Didn't get the general manager. I assume he'll talk maybe after the trade deadline, hopefully, or maybe not. But Matt LaFleur said something that I found to be really interesting. The admission that even in the games that they've won, he doesn't think they've played a complete game. Here is Matt LaFleur talking about where this team stands during the bye week.
You can look at our record right now. We're 2-1-1. Are we disappointed we're not better? Absolutely. But I still think even in the 2 games that we won, I don't think we've put together a full game of complementary football. So we've got to somehow, some way, be able to do that collectively in all 3 phases where we're putting our best out there.
Tausch, if they don't run the Cincinnati Bengals out of the gym, because if I recall correctly, and again, I would hate to be accused of being a dink, but I think your expectations for the Cowboys game vis-a-vis what actually happened, I don't think you were expecting both teams to put up a 40-burger. The Packers did, though. Yeah. What exactly do they have to do, and what if they don't do what you think they have to do to make you feel better about where they're headed? Like, they could any given Sunday, you could certainly lose. I don't foresee that happening on Sunday, given where the Bengals are at right now. My question is, what do they have to do for you to feel really good, and how are you going to feel if they don't do it?
I mean, I'll be disappointed if defensively they don't create at least a couple of turnovers and absolutely get after Cincinnati without Joe Burrow. And I think on the other side of it, you saw what Detroit was able to do to them. I think Green Bay's offense took a really good step against a bad Dallas defense. So this isn't where I'm not panicking. I don't sense any panic in Matt LaFleur.
I don't either.
We just finished September football. And yes, we analyze and we go over everything and we cover every quote and we, that's what we do. That's not what the teams and the players, they look at everything and they analyze it, but there's not this, oh my God, it's let's get this fixed. Because I don't know any coach that wants to be playing its best ball in September. If you're playing perfect football in September, hey, kudos to you.
There's nowhere to go but down.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that. And as far as the complimentary football goes, I thought in Washington they played pretty good complimentary football. When they needed to go down and score, they did. Then they got to stop, and it was but outside of that, I think you look at the Dallas game, and I just view that as a blip. Until I see more of what this defense is, I am not anticipating, even though Cincinnati's got 2 of the best wideouts as a 1-2 combo that we're going to see. I just don't know if they have a distributor that can do it consistently. Now, if this was Dak Prescott with these wideouts, I would say, okay, it could be an old shootout. Even if CD had played in that Dallas game, I'd say, all right, But with where Cincinnati is, there is no result outside of a loss that I'll be like, oh, my God, we stink and we can't do it. It's more about let's start seeing what this football team is going to be. Because I've seen and I thought I knew, and then I was rattled after what I saw the last time this team went out. Shook, rattled, and now I'm rolling it into what I think is just this going to be just a good old-fashioned whooping on Sunday. But this team is built to be dominant on defense and an offense that will get better and better and better as their players, Jaden Reed, Watson, you can get healthy with Banks and hopefully Zach Tom. That offense is going to continue to get better. And hopefully by, early December, we're talking about a complete football team that plays complementary football. And until that happens, I would still expect this defense to be the bell cow of what this team is going to be.
I will tread lightly as I ask about how things used to be as opposed to how things are now. However, you were on some teams that were really crappy in September. I think you made the playoffs twice after 1-4 starts.
Yeah.
You were the epitome, your teams under Mike Sherman, the epitome of when Matt LaFleur said, I don't want to be playing our best football in September, I wasn't going to interrupt him, but I kind of wanted to say, well, congratulations, you're not. When you look at what your teams were able to do, probably because you practiced a little bit during the bye week, why were you able to turn things around?
Yeah, that's well, I think as you figure out what you're good at and what you're going to be, you start crafting that and you get better and better at it, and everybody kind of understands their role. And for us, it wasn't, we weren't as young of a team as obviously this group is, but there is some jostling and some moving around and trying to figure out, all right, when you add a Micah Parsons, how is this going to affect the rest of the defense? And when your offensive line, I think when you look at, I want to say it was probably 03 and 04 were both the seasons we were 1-4 and we ended up making the playoffs. And there was a season I think we were 1-4 or 0-5 and we ended up 4-12.
Right.
We knew that we needed to be the catalyst for what we were going to do. And I think we felt good about our group and that we would be able to run the football and that we would be able to, make some big plays with jaywalk or drive. And once we got to that point, that's when you can start taking that next step. And right now, I would ask offensively, what are we? What is this team? What does this team hang its hat on? And you can do that with the Badgers. You can do that with, you can do that with the Green Bay Packers. I think you can do that with pretty much every NFL football team through September because nobody does anything in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So things have gotten pushed back even a little bit more. And right now, I don't know what I'd answer if you said Green Bay hangs its hat on what offensively? What's the answer to that question?
Short, effective passing game and guys getting yards after the catch? Because it's not the downfield game, and it's not running the football effectively. Now, I would ask you
It's
again.
not play action.
It's not play action. I would ask you, look, in the second half against Dallas, now it's one half, but they had 100-plus rushing yards just between Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson. Josh Jacobs, who's averaging 3.3 yards a carry, and who averaged 1.9 yards a carry in the Browns game, and averaged 2 yards a carry, 8 for 16 in the first half against the Cowboys, carried 14 times for 70 yards in the second half. Emmanuel Wilson had 38 yards, I think he had in the second half. Could that be the catalyst to getting that part going? Because if you ask me what their offensive identity was last year, it was Josh Jacobs running the you-know-what out of the football, and Jordan Love making key plays at key moments and not making critical mistakes. Yeah. That's what their identity was. That has not been their identity thus far.
Yeah, and my point is why teams figure things out is you don't know these answers yet. And that doesn't make you a bad football team. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be a good football team. You're trying to figure this out as you go, and you can practice and you can play games, and you can hope what your plans are going to be, and then you can see, well, teams are going to do this in an idea to stop that. What is our next play going to? What is our next thing going to be? And until you get to the point where Philadelphia is going through this right now, and they were 4-0 until they got beat yesterday. They don't know what the hell they are on offense. Last year it was Saquon and that O-line.
Yeah.
This year it ain't. And they're struggling, but they're still 4-1. And I think everybody will take that. But you want to see that it's going in the right direction. And I thought last game, offensively, obviously, it was. Now, you were playing a really bad defense, and that helps. What is it going to be when you're playing a good defense? What is your thing going to be? So that's why there's no panic over there, because I think Matt LaFleur feels as if once he gets the O-line figured out, that to me, and I've said this all offseason, and I said it all, or at least all during training camp, if that group is good, everything's going to work here. They haven't been as good as we thought. Their depth and their injuries have hurt them. They haven't played as well in the interior of the O-line as I thought they would, and part of that is injury. But if that gets better, and I think we all anticipate it will, then they're going to have a ton of different options on how to win games. But if it's not, you said short, effective passing, SAP. Yeah, that's great. That ain't gonna get you where you want to go. If somebody tells me, oh boy, we have a very strong, short, effective passing game, defensive coordinators are going to laugh at you. Ha! Well, that's cute. What are you going to do when you get a holding penalty? What are you going to do when you have a lost yardage play? What's your best offensive strategy? Just give the ball back to your defense. Let them make a play. Short, effective passing. SAP. There you go.
I think effective starts with an E.
Maybe SEP.
Effective. AFFECTIVE.
Okay. All right. Tell us about AmFam and how great they are.
You didn't say effective. You said effective. Riley?
You're right. I'm 100% wrong. My fault for not enunciating.
Don't you dare patronize me. Don't you dare. I'm not going to patronize you with American Family Insurance either, because we love them. They have been a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch since the jump. And since 1927, they have been committed to making life better with outstanding home and auto protection. Very effective when you're looking to get things insured. American Family does that. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams, so insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
We will play a little game of Take It to the Bank, presented by Associated Bank and hosted by Riley Yauk. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member-first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, it's Jason Wilde from Wilde and Tausch, inviting you to join me July 5th on a journey through the lovely landscapes of England, Scotland, and Wales with Colette. We'll take in the charm of the countryside and the history of the great cities. Imagine standing before Big Ben in London, then later gazing out from Edinburgh Castle. So rich in history, it feels like you're stepping back in time. Along the way, we'll explore the storybook villages of Chester and Shakespeare's Stratford-upon-Avon, places where every street seems to whisper a piece of history. And how about a scenic train ride through the rolling green hills that lead us right into the medieval city of York? It's all part of this incredible journey. From iconic landmarks to cozy villages, from bustling city streets to peaceful countryside views, you'll experience the very best of Britain's history, culture, and beauty, and create memories that last a lifetime. To learn more about this amazing adventure, text TRAVEL to 844-770-3776 or visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com for full details.
Time out on the field. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month? Wayne, a whole house of new windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 60 months.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no extra interest.
And unlike opponents, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin actually stops the drafts.
Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 10/31/2025.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
October baseball is on ESPN Madison.
And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
It's the Brewers.
So the second is right on the back. They got him.
Versus the Cubs.
Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Left center. Bye-bye baseball.
This Monday, it's Game 2 of the NLDS at AmFam Field. Catch every pitch of the I-94 postseason matchup right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers. We're on the Badgers.
There were some chants. Coach, what do you make of how fans have reacted here
I think it's embarrassing.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
I think it's terrible, despicable. They're spoiled rotten.
This is 100.5 ESPN.
Before we get to Take It to the Bank, presented by Associated Bank, Packers practicing inside the Don Hudson Center. And per...
Is it raining up there?
It is raining up here.
There?
Per Robert J. Domovsky, Christian Watson is practicing.
Let's go.
They have opened the 21-day practice window. Today, as Tausch I'm sure knows, is Monday, October 6th. 21 days would put us at the 27th, which would be before they play the Pittsburgh Steelers on the 28th, which is before Halloween, which would put him back on the field after missing 6-7, depending on if he plays against the Steelers, games this season.
Can can they pull him off that early, or does he have to stay off of it?
No, he can. They can pull him off. They could play him on Sunday if they wanted to.
Let's go.
But the window is open, so we will see how quickly they remove him from that. As you know, the YouTube folks sometimes do their own program without us in the chat. And the discussion was whether or not he will still have his elite speed. Somebody, I think it was Jim, pointed out that Jordy Nelson was not as fast as he was before his ACL tear when he came back. He was the comeback player of the year in the NFL in 2016, but I don't think, and I think Jordy would acknowledge that his top gear was not as fast. Whether or not that's the case with Christian Watson, I have no idea. Every player is different. Every ACL tear is different. but I thought that was an interesting conversation that they were having. Also of note, Aaron Banks and his groin injury and Zach Tom and his oblique injury, both of them are back participating in practice.
Let's go!
Well, now again,
let's go.
They also took part in some practices before re-injuring themselves in Cleveland. So that one will
they probably were doing a Thursday afternoon practice.
Well, maybe if they'd have practiced during the bye, they'd be more ready. The only two players not practicing on the 53 per Rob Domofsky, Anthony Belton, the backup right tackle who has an ankle injury, and Devontae Wyatt, who sustained a knee injury in Dallas. All right, time now for Take It to the Bank, presented by Associated Bank.
Get out those wallets. Or is it time to cash out? It's Take It to the Bank on Wilde and Tausch, presented by Associated Bank.
All right, guys, I feel like it's been a long time.
Is that a different open?
Apparently,
it seems like it is, yeah.
It says revised of May of last year. So, I don't know.
I like it.
I have to talk to Jesse.
I like to change it. Well, he'll have to work, so I can ask him.
Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But it's been a while since I played Take It to the Bank with you guys. Let's start with Take It to the Bank with Philly's loss. The Lions are now the biggest threat to the Packers in the NFC.
No. I still think it's Philly and then Detroit. I also think there's, Tampa Bay is people are sleeping on Tampa. Tampa went out to Seattle and Baker Mayfield's got it. He does. I don't know how good their defense is, but I think Tampa. It's time to put Tampa in the same tierdom as the G&G and as Detroit. I still. Get my little sign here. I still am a believer. Until someone knocks out the champs will be there. They are struggling. They're having turmoil. I thought something I heard today was really interesting on, it must have been Get Up.
GMA.
If Twitter didn't exist, Philadelphia wins that game yesterday. And I'm thinking to myself,
what?
Wait a second. Hold up, I'll get there. Okay. And I'm thinking to myself, that is crazy. And then the more it was getting explained, it isn't crazy. So much of the time, you're always told to not get caught up in the outside noise. And everything stays in-house. And in the old days, you could do that obviously to a much better degree than now. Philadelphia is 4-0. Philadelphia has won all of these games by they haven't outgained anybody. They yardage gained, they lost all 4 battles, and then they lost yesterday at the 5th. And if you remember Chris Jones talking smack to Jalen Hurts after the game that they beat the Chiefs, and Jalen Hurts is like, shut blank, blank, blank up because we won. And winning is always that ultimate trump card. But
Scoreboard.
With A.J. Brown putting out his tweet and the unhappiness, and Devontae Smith kind of being unhappy about not getting as many touches, they ran the ball 11 times yesterday. Once they got ahead 14 in the fourth quarter, they never ran it. It was minimal. They had no success. And you just wonder if all that chirping, Twitter, social media, whatever it is, if that doesn't exist, does Nick Sirianni and the offensive coordinator just say, let's just find ways to win? Or were they trying to placate a couple of cats and win, and it ended up costing them? And I think there's some real merit to it.
Who on your teams, again, I find your vast playing experience to be valuable on the program. Were there guys on your teams that if they had existed during the Twitter era, there would have been some issues like this, do you think?
Yes. Because let me tell you something.
No hesitation whatsoever there, by the way.
There were issues in-house. There were many issues in-house. And another great thing about having a franchise Hall of Fame quarterback those issues get snuffed out like a torch on Survivor. If you're winning games, you can't. First off, you don't have the same forums to do what Devontae or what A.J. Brown did.
Mm-hmm.
But you also, it tells me a little bit about Jalen Hurts, too, that you would do that. Green Bay has had great wideouts. And how many times have you heard, other than the Greg Jennings post leaving Green Bay, how many times have you heard a lot of guys chirping about not getting enough touches? Romeo Doubs left the team.
Indeed.
For a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying with Favre and Rodgers, how many times did that get out publicly? Because I promise you, there was some stuff. Now, but it never was to this degree, and nobody knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you seen that?
I don't recall ever seeing it.
All right.
Get out. But there were people that were unhappy. Riley, what's next?
All right, take it to the bank. The Bengals, the Bungles, are the worst team the Packers will face the rest of the season.
Whew, Carolina's pretty bad, too.
They did win yesterday, though.
They did.
Yeah, both are bad. Yeah, I think this might be. Although if Baltimore doesn't get healthy and Lamar Jackson's not, the Baltimore Ravens stink right now. I can't believe I'm saying that, but they do. I still believe, and Vegas still believes in them, even though they're 1-4. Vegas still has them as the favorite to win their division. Yeah, I'm going to say they're the. I think Cincinnati might be from top to bottom with no Joe Burrow. They might be the worst team.
Yeah, because Joe Burrow doesn't play defense, and I understand that his replacement is turning the ball over, putting their defense in a bad spot. But they are struggling on both sides of the ball.
I mean, we don't play the Raiders or the Titans, right? Like those are two absolute stink pots. New Orleans isn't on the schedule.
No.
The Giants, are they on the schedule?
No. Tough schedule.
I think they are. No, I think the Giants are on the schedule.
Yes, the Giants, November 16th.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
The Giants will be it'll be at their place, I think, right?
Yep.
Riles?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to put them in that category. I'm not going to put them in that category. So, yeah, I think Cincinnati is going to be right there. I'll take that to the bank.
Do you get a lot of Riles?
I have, actually. My high school baseball coach called me Riles. My uncle called me Riles a lot. My mom, my grandma.
Your mom calls you Riles?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you know if you were born pre-2000, you're now Unc? They can call you Unc?
Oh, thankfully, I just snuck past that. I'm 2001, but I believe that. I believe that. Unc status happens quick.
You're 26 years old if you were born in 1999.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit, but I've heard that from more than one
You got
person.
unked, though, I bet, once or twice. You are an Unc.
Yeah, Unc City, USA. Yep.
And the offense is a sap. Well, I can tell you this. Associated Bank is the best in the business. They've got the awards to prove it when it comes to customer service, whether it's early pay, whether it's credit monitoring, whether it's fraud protection, or whether it's being able to back your favorite team with their logo on your check and on your debit card. Packers, Brewers, Badgers. Associated Bank's got it all, so go to associatedbank.com to find out more. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels, celebrating 91 years with savings on furniture and mattresses. Trusted for quality and comfort. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Falling short at the Big House. Wisconsin football dropping its third straight, a 24-10 loss at Michigan. The Badgers' opening drive score turning heads, but the Wolverines eventually taking control. Where's Wisconsin coming up empty? Riley Auk dropping his take on the Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show.
Wisconsin needs a playmaker desperately. Even though they played clean, they played solid, they played tough. When you're the underdog, you're the worst team, you need someone to be able to make a game-changing play, and clearly, right now, Wisconsin doesn't have that.
Get a whole house of new Pella windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 60 months.
Wow. Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Visit PellaWI.com today.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here with a refreshing offer for a bath or shower remodel from Kohler Services. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. My new friend Chris from Oostburg is one of their skilled installers who demos your existing bath or shower, removes it, and disposes it before installing your brand new dream shower. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Pizza lovers, when the craving hits, hit back with Pizza Hut's $5 crafted flats pizzas. Mark Tauscher here, and new at Pizza Hut. 5 bold, hand-stretched personal pizza recipes. 3 cheese, pepperoni duo, the ultimate, and for a limited time, chicken bacon ranch, and Nashville hot chicken. All just $5 each all day. Perfect for lunch, dinner, or game day. Order your $5 handcrafted flats at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
It's the Brewers versus the Cubs.
And into left, a base hit. Frelick scores. Perkins coming home. He scores.
Catch every Milwaukee Brewers postseason game right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
We'll get back to the Packers in a little bit, but a very odd story broke over the weekend. And Tausch, I know you enjoy your trips to Indianapolis. You believe many, many, many major events should be held there.
I'm going to tell you this. Been there a few times. Been to Nolans, been to, for some bigger sporting events. The nice part about Indianapolis is you literally will drop your car at the hotel, park it, and you have everything right there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is right there. You don't have everything is within probably a 2-mile radius, and you just go and enjoy yourself. They got that monster hotel there. They got skywalks and bridges, and it is as convenient of a big sports event city as you could possibly have. Now, I don't know how it is in the middle of summer. I don't know. I don't know all of that, but I do know when it comes to big boy events and big girl events, Big Linda, it's the place you want to be.
Yeah. You don't want to be there, though, when Mark Sanchez is allegedly inebriated. If you missed this story over the weekend, and I have a few friends that covered him that were sending thoughts and prayers. And look, he did get stabbed in this incident, so I understand that he still needs thoughts and prayers, even though he was the aggressor. And he has now been charged with felony battery, arrested while he was in the hospital. There are weird stories every once in a while that come up, but if you've been following this one, he obviously has some issues. But for this to have played out the way it did.
Just because you get some information, maybe it's take a beat and let more stuff come out. This is a microwave society. I get it. And I'm sure there's times you tweet things out and you say things and you do things, and it's, especially if this thing happens live. And let's say we were in the New York area and we were covering it, you'd be all over it. You'd be and that's why I'm always like, well, you want to take a beat and get more information, because this thing went from, oh my God, I can't believe what happened to Mark Sanchez, to just wait a second, huh? And, a lot of times if you jump the proverbial shark, you're going to end up looking like a fool. Yeah, this whole scenario seems like it's just it's an unfortunate deal for, it sounds like, a bunch of people involved.
Yeah, and the guy that he allegedly attacked is also still in the hospital. And this, I was watching the CBS coverage from the local station there. They interviewed the bartender who rendered aid. It is a incredible story. I was curious, though, so I did not make one call, that's all. I made one text, that's all, to my friend David Gruber, because I was curious.
This is actually well done, lining up your live reads with the Sanchez. That's really well done. I thought you did, and you're a pro. Well done, Jason.
I honestly was curious. Does this truck driver whom he attacked, allegedly, does he have some sort of recourse in terms of, could he call David Gruber and Gruber Law Offices? One call, that's all. And David said that they rarely do cases like this, but they have. But because of what he did was an intentional act, it could potentially fall under that purview, plus the fact that Sanchez presumably has significant assets from having played in the NFL. So someone, won't be Gruber, but it'll be someone that not only is he facing criminal charges, but he'll likely face a civil act as well. And I know that I hope I never have to make that call, whether I've encountered Mark Sanchez or been in an accident. But you know who I'm calling. It's David. I know he's there for me, and he's there for everybody. He's been doing it for 40 years. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. Go to the website, gruber-law.com, to find out more. Dom Cotroneo.
Can you imagine Mark Sanchez goes out and has a dinner.
He takes
couple
a beat.
Of drinks. A bunch of allegedly, again, I don't know the story. But then all of a sudden, you wake up in that hospital, and I'm guessing you probably are thinking to yourself, what the, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He should be thinking, oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to shift back to the Brewers, because our Brewers guy, Dom Catronio from 620 WTMJ, joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious With multiple engine options and impressive towing, while Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability.
Nice.
Making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Wisconsin. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Wisconsin Surplus in Mount Horeb, your homegrown auction powerhouse. From government assets to vehicles and equipment, find your next deal at wisconsinsurplus.com. The Packers may have been on a bye, but it was still a busy weekend as the Milwaukee Brewers took Game 1 of their NLDS series with the Chicago Cubs in convincing 9-3 fashion at American Family Field Saturday afternoon. Game 2 is tonight, once again inside of beautiful AmFam, as Pat Murphy and Milwaukee are rolling out the opener. Along with the barrel, Aaron Ashby will get the start for the Crew with Quinn Priester almost certainly to foul. They did this quite a bit in the regular season. Shota Imanaga, the hurler for Craig Counsell and the Cubs. First pitch is scheduled for 8:08 p.m. Central Time. You can watch it on TBS, True TV, stream it on HBO Max, or listen beginning at 7:30 right here on Madison's Home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Dominic Catronio of WTMJ joining Wilde and Tausch at 11:15. Don't go anywhere.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Of Wilde and Tausch begins now. We've got Dom Cotroneo coming up at 11:15 from 620 WTMJ. Tausch will tell us about UW Credit Union coming up because they're spreading good vibes with him and swapping out seats. Brewers Game 2 tonight at AmFam Field between the Brewers and the Cubs. Tausch, you will be there. You are not sitting with Jesse and Up North Joe. You're going with some buddies.
No. Yes.
Are you? I know you're excited. I know you're confident. Is there anything that has you nervous?
Yeah.
About Game 2?
Absolutely. There's a bunch of stuff that has me nervous. Is Jackson Chourio. I would be surprised, and I don't know. I'm sure we'll ask Dom about that. Obviously, he pulled his hamstring in Game 1, and that's always something you're concerned about, especially when. What did Pat Murphy say after the game? It was devastating, I think he said. And Jackson came out and said that it wasn't to that degree, but you're obviously always worried when someone is pulled out of a playoff game. That means you're jittery, and he is such a big part of what Milwaukee does. And then you make a bold move here and going with Ashby to start. So there's a couple of things that I think you can sit here and be all nervous Nelly if you want, or you could just say let's go, and you next man up, and you got your bullpen. You let this thing roll. But tonight I thought Saturday was critical. And I believe the Brewers win this series because they won Game 1. And, me and Woody are both on the same page in that because our horse went out, did the job that was asked of him, and he is going to be the catalyst. If Milwaukee's going to win a World Championship for the first time, Freddie Peralta is going to be hugely important in getting to that point. And he was on Saturday, and if push comes to shove, he would probably be able to go, Game 4 probably, Riles? Does that sound about right?
Riles? I believe so, yes.
All right.
So,
tonight's a big one.
Believe it or not, I was curious, so I went to the Brewers website, and there is a very limited number of tickets still available on a face value buy from the team status. You can get a spot in the last row of section 424 for $78.50.
Okay.
You can also sit in section 116, row 21, for $277.50. So there are a handful of seats still available if you are interested in a late addition to your Monday night schedule. I can't guarantee there are any seats available right next to Jesse and Up North Joe. I know those are prime seats that you want to sit next to those guys and discuss Wisconsin geography and other fascinating topics. Tausch, if they don't have, and we will talk to Dom Catronio coming up next. If they don't have Jackson Chourio, who I believe was 3 for 3 at the time of his injury.
Yep.
In the game?
Yep.
What does that mean? What if it's he'll be back for the World Series if they advance? What is your concern level then?
Who said that he'd be back if the?
I'm saying that hypothetically. It's a sap.
Oh, it's another sap. You listen. You weathered the storm when he missed a bunch of time. I think in August, and you found ways. But there's a reason guys are, huge parts of your team, and are starters and are everyday players because they're better than who else you have. Now you can catch lightning in a bottle, and you could have people go. And there's been plenty of players that have had huge postseasons that didn't have those regular seasons, and they've springboarded. Mark Lemke, the old Atlanta Braves second baseman, he had some big.
Yeah,
you could start looking back and find guys that have elevated, but typically when you win a World's Championship, it's your best players lead you to it. Especially now with 3 series, having to win 3 series to get it done. That's typically what this does, and that's why you just hope that if Chourio misses, it's not for an extended period of time.
All right, let's get to Dom on time because he has much more insight than we have. So you have insight on what it means to be a UW Credit Union member and spread the confidence and joy and good vibes at AmFam Field.
For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you, and they have been a great partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. You see their logo down on the field, and you get to see, if you watch that video, every game, somebody up in that 4th deck, sitting up there just pondering, boy, I wonder what it's like down low. And UW Credit Union gets you them tickets, gets you down there. That's great. They do all that great stuff, but also, they do great banking. They keep your banking local, member-first service, great perks like early payday. And at Bucky, how do you say no to Bucky? If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fan will make you do crazy things. Man, this makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Dom Cotroneo of 620 WTMJ, the flagship of your Milwaukee Brewers, joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. Whether you're saving up to buy a jersey for your new favorite player, tickets to a playoff baseball game, or simply need some extra spending money for you and your family, it's always great to learn new ways to save some extra cash. Well, I've been telling you for a while now about how you can save money and help save the planet by making the switch to Everlight Solar. When my family first thought about making the energy switch to solar, we weren't exactly sure where to go. That's when we got in touch with the team at Everlight Solar, and through every step of the process, they were great as we made the switch to solar. If you're interested in making the switch, let them do the same for you. Check out everlightsolar.com to find out more and schedule a free consultation. That's everlightsolar.com. Save money and help save the planet. When you're ready to make the switch, take my word for it. Count on the team at Everlight Solar.
Ready to watch the Packers like a VIP? Cousins Subs put you in the center of it all. On the 50-yard line in plush recliner seats, complete with personal TVs and your favorites delivered from Cousins Subs. 2 pairs of fans are selected before each regular season home game to enjoy this one-of-a-kind experience. Enter daily to win the best seats in the house. Only from Cousins Subs. Cousins Subs. We believe in better. See rules and eligibility for details.
Grassland butter is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin. Grassland is family owned and has been crafting butter for 5 generations. That's why at Grassland Butter, you're more than just an employee, you're family. The Wietrich family believes in supporting each other, growing together, and building a workplace where everyone feels valued. Your voice matters at Grassland Dairy. Your success is our success. Join a team where culture isn't just a buzzword, it's how we live every day. Check us out online at grassland.com. That's grassland.com.
It's football season in Wisconsin and the energy is electric. Get ready to fuel up the hype with Monster Energy. With bold flavors and that legendary kick, Monster gives you the power to go all 4 quarters. Whether you're tailgating before the big game, watching with friends at home, or catching every play at your favorite spot. Because game day isn't just about football. It's about bringing the energy wherever you are. Stop by your local Piggly Wiggly to pick up a Monster Energy drink today. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Penalty flags? Not here. Carbless is the clean play that every football fan can agree on. With 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories, you get all the flavor without the penalty. Whether you're tailgating outside the stadium, hosting a crew at home, or watching solo in your lucky jersey, Carbless brings premium cocktails right into the huddle. Made to be refreshingly delicious and game day ready, Carbless keeps fans cheering from kickoff to the final whistle. So this season, skip the sugar, skip the carbs, and make the winning call. Find your bliss with Carbless.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. With a legacy of excellence and an extensive selection of quality Ford vehicles, it's the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at MetroFordofMadison.com. That's MetroFordofMadison.com. Or visit them on the east side of Madison today.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Joining us now. We are really lucky because Tausch and I, we know our Packers. I feel like I would put our knowledge up against anyone, and I think we would win, especially with Bulaga in the mix and everything else. Domofsky. But baseball, I know Tausch is a tennis aficionado. I know he fancies himself as an NBA guy. But we're lucky. When it comes to the Bucks, we've got Justin Garcia. Sometimes we get our buddy Eric Name as well. And when it comes to the Brewers, we got Jeff Levering. But this guy has been such a great addition, and I'm glad. I'm not just saying that because he's on the line. I'm glad he's been willing to join us because he makes us way smarter every time he joins us. From 620 WTMJ is Dom Cotroneo. Dom, good morning, buddy. Thanks for doing this.
I think the listeners don't realize, I have a little, something behind you there just to make sure there's a little something poking you to remind you to say nice things about me as I come onto the show.
No, you do a great job, and you know that, and we know that. Help me understand the Brewers' pitching approach tonight. Our resident baseball expert, Tausch, who's an expert at
Dom, were you surprised? I also, help us explain it, but also, I think most of us thought, it's easy. Quinn, go. Winning all these games. Can you take us inside what they're doing and why they're doing it?
Well, I kind of called my shot. I had the wrong opener. When the roster came out and I saw that Robert Gasser was on the roster, that was my smoke signal to say they're doing an opener. I thought it would be Gasser because I don't know if they want to throw him into a postseason bullpen scenario. And even yet, he still could start game 3. Now, all of this is to say, why not start Quinn Priester given the start he's in the year and everything? The reason is with the Cubs lineup, they are an everyday lineup that Michael Busch plays every day. And if you can get him to face a lefty as often as you can or get an extra at-bat against a lefty, do it. If you can get PCA to see another lefty, do it. If you can get Kyle Tucker to see another lefty, do it. Ian Happ, switch hitter, but worse from the right side, do it. So the point being, the Brewers are trying to do this the first time through the order. I don't think Ashby was just going to go one inning. I think he could go all the way through. I imagine PCA will probably hit 7th or 8th and then get through PCA, and then Priester would probably enter to follow there, because then if things go according to plan, let's say you're through 3 innings with Aaron Ashby, then if things go according to plan, Priester can take you to the 7th or 8th inning easily, and then you hand it to Uribe and McGill and Koenig, and all those guys are ready to go.
So the great Pat Tauscher, years and years ago on the farm, suggested that teams should do this, and now it has become a thing. You know, and now I think his theory was 9 different pitchers, 9 different innings. Is that right? I don't want to misquote him.
The thought process, rather than paying one starter $45 million a year, you get flamethrowers that'll give you 1 or 2 innings, and you saw Freddie on Saturday. There's a balance to this. I think the 9 innings, that's cute. I don't know if that's sustainable over the long term, but it definitely has trended that way. You just brought up, with the fact, will the Cubs do any tinkering because of what the Brewers are doing?
Great
or
question.
they're set in their ways, they're doing what they do?
So the conflict becomes, do you start Justin Turner at first, knowing he's going to get 1 at-bat against a lefty, and then immediately pull him as soon as Priester comes in, you put Busch back in. But now you lose roster flexibility. Busch has to play the rest of the game, and now the Brewers have their hand played where you can bring in DL Hall, you can bring in Robert Gasser, you can bring in Jared Koenig against a lefty that can't come out of the game. So this is the mind inside the manager, but to Pat Tausch's thought, the 9 innings, 9 pitchers, the nerds want that. Like that's a baseball frontier that has been explored. And we all reacted and overreacted to the starter must go 6 innings, like the report that was put out by Major League Baseball, and people freaked out. It's like, no, baseball's very aware of the death of the starting pitcher and how important it is to keep this going. I'm in favor of Jason Stark, fantastic writer here in Philadelphia, now does it at large for The Athletic, the double hook rule, where if your starter, like their parameters, right? Let's say baseline, starter needs to go 5 innings, or if you're down by more than 4 runs, there are baselines. But basically, if the starter doesn't go 5 innings and you pull the starter, you lose the designated hitter, and you have to pinch hit the DH the rest of the game. I'd be all in on that, but I think that's never going to happen.
So, Dom, what do you think happens? And I know you're out in Philly, but what do you think happens here if Milwaukee, this works tonight? What happens next? How, do you think Pat Murphy already knows, or is it contingent on how tonight's game turns out, winning or losing?
Yeah, I think it's contingent on tonight. I really do. I think they're keeping Jose Quintana holstered for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's obviously pitched at Wrigley, and I think they always knew all along they want him to pitch a road game. And we talk about the lefty being a neutralizer for the Cubs lineup. Number two, let's do the worst case scenario. Let's do Murphy's Law. Let's say Ashby gives up 3 runs in the first and the Brewers don't come back. Who's to say Quinn Priester has to pitch in this game? You all right? And what if you just go full bullpen game? and then you save Quinn Priester for game 3. I mean, this is total galaxy brain theory here. But the thought being is there's no reason to show your cards in the postseason. There's literally no reason. So I love the gamesmanship. I love the idea of, well, it could be Quinn. It could be Quintana. It could be Gasser. It could, yes, I love this. Bring us mystery. Bring us a little bit of second guessing and all this stuff. But the way I see it is that, probably cooler heads will prevail. Well, Quintana will probably start game 3, and then they'll have a lineup of lefties to follow him too. But I think you don't want to get too cute, but the series never really begins until a road team wins a game. So let's make sure that it's 2-0 going.
The old George Karl rule. The old George Karl rule.
Exactly.
Jackson Chourio, obviously there's a lot of concern. Be very skeptical. What's your hunch on that? And then who needs to elevate their game if he can't go?
Hunch is he sits out tonight. That's just what I would do. Because off day yesterday, you get 3 straight days off. You take the step back today to make sure you're not taking another step back later in October. That's what I would do. Now, Jackson is 21 years young, and 21-year-olds heal fast, and he's going to do everything in his power to walk into Murph's office today and be like, put me in there. And, he kind of got to save him from himself sort of thing. I would rest him. As far as who's going to step up behind him, I'd expect Isaac Collins to start. I'd be shocked if it's Brandon Lockridge. The way Isaac finished the year was disappointing in his standards, given Rookie of the Year candidate for 4 months out of the 6 this year. It really faltered late. Defense wasn't as good as it was earlier in the season. But, legends are made in October. Nobody cares what you did in the regular season anymore. And look at Blake Perkins, man. I mean, one in that bat yesterday. You just never know. Joey Ortiz drawing 2 4-pitch walks. You just never know what's going to happen in October. Maybe Isaac can get things going in the right direction tonight if he starts in left field.
That's someone's Steinhoffel's Sleeper of the Week in our little competition for this series, so hopefully he has a huge game on my behalf. Dom, what are the – make us smarter like you usually do. What are the other pieces of this Game 2 matchup that you as a baseball guy will have your eye on that me as a football guy wouldn't be smart enough to have my eye on and will because you told me to?
Shota gives up bombs. I know you see, the numbers head-to-head against the Brewers, that he's been better this year than he was last year. But he's still giving up, I want to say, the 3rd most homers in all of baseball. And that's hard to do at Wrigley, given the wind's blowing in half the year. So the way I see it is all this talk about the home runs and, you got to out-homer your opponent. You got to do... Okay, the Cubs out-homered the Brewers yesterday 3-0. They were all solo shots. The Brewers out-homered the Mets in the wild card series last year 5-1. Look how that turned out. Home runs are important. I'm never going to turn down home runs. But if you suddenly throw in this offense hitting homers on top of what they did in Game 1, that's what makes this team not only a pennant contender, but a World Series contender. Look what the Blue Jays have done. Yes, they hit a grand slam with Vlad Jr., but they were kept on hitting. These two offenses are on a crash course of how to do it in the postseason.
What did you think of, look, Jesse has very strong feelings about Craig Counsell. I can't feel as strongly as he does. But he seemed rattled and everyone in the entire organization was okay with the pitching decision. What do you kind of make of if there was a Dom for the Cubs? What is he trying to tell Cubs fans? Because I watched that and thought these guys look shook after what happened in Game 1. Am I wrong to think that way?
No, you're not wrong at all. The way I saw it was, when I saw that Matthew Boyd was going to start Game 1, I thought this was going to be Counsell a la 2018. Boyd starts for 3 batters and brings in a righty. I really thought that was going to happen, like the Wade Miley NLCS against the Dodgers. And it didn't. So I knew he only threw 60-some pitches in Game 1, but you look at those numbers in the second half for Boyd, and the whole organization line, I'm like, I'm really surprised you went there and just didn't just wear it. Like, I wouldn't have done it. Like, I would not have started Matthew Boyd. I would have started Colin Ray and then see where you're at. But, hey, I'm not the manager. I'm not the second highest paid manager in baseball. So the point being, for if I was the Dom of the Cubs, is, hey, you played your most uncharacteristic game. I mean, the Nico Horner error was the play that lost the game for them. Not the big 6-run, not the coming back in the second, not the whole, like, Nico Horner, your Gold Glove second baseman. He's going to steal the Gold Glove from Bryce Ring this year. He has been phenomenal at second base. That error lost them the game. So you're like, okay, that's not going to happen again. You hit 3 home runs. Cool, that's not going to happen again. Or it's like they got to see Jared Koenig, all right? So they had some small victories, and they only needed to use 3 non-leveraged relievers, right? Soroka, Savali, who pitched great, and Ben Brown. Those guys are not going to pitch with the lead the rest of this series. So it worked out from the Cubs' favor from saving their bullpen.
All right, so last thing for me, as a baseball guy, you obviously watch way more than I do, but I have to admit, I have pretty much all the playoff games on now when I'm writing my Packers stories or just on in the background. I find myself stopping and watching an inning, which I would have never done in like the middle of June. What is it about October baseball? Like, it's just like every pitch there's like implications to, like, I would say, and I covered the NFL for a long time, but the postseason for baseball, after 162 games plus all the spring training, it's a pretty damn good crescendo, I have to admit. What is it about postseason baseball?
Yeah. People always ask, why do these guys celebrate so hard between every round? They haven't won anything yet. These guys have been together since February 14th, okay? They are sick of each other. And you are in this marathon together. And the reason why October baseball is so intoxicating is that the Brewers are a team that we have seen them kind of touch the sun and live to tell the tale. And you're hoping they can do it again. Like, oh, what if they just time it up right? And, you know, every pitch to pitch, right? I mean, I've said this quote a few times now. I'll say it again. A player told me when we were talking about, like, yeah, in the playoffs, everything matters. A walk is a rally. And he said, no. A walk isn't a rally. A 2-0 count is a rally. It just changes everything. It's like you're in a tie game in the fourth quarter and every play is 3rd down and 5. Like, it is just so much fun that there is so much stress and weight on every single pitch. How intoxicating was Tigers-Mariners last night? Yes! Tarek Skubal, best pitcher on the planet, and then gives up 2 homers to Polanco, and then they blow it in the 8th, but then they come back in the bottom half. Like, that is baseball, October baseball to a T. Yesterday, or Game 1, Teoscar Hernandez fails to cut off a ball in right center field, then he hits the go-ahead 3-run bomb. Like, sign me up for all of this injected into my veins.
All right, Dom, we appreciate you always making time for us. I can guarantee you we will be bothering you again
Yes,
and again and again. We know you got a lot on your plate, so thanks for making time for us. We'll talk to you again soon.
The sooner the Brewers can clinch the NLCS, my life gets a lot easier. Thanks, guys.
From 620 WTMJ, that's our buddy Dom Cotroneo. We are always
what else I
smarter when
love?
we talk to him.
I love this whole roof. Shifting the roof to get sun glaring into the cubbies, and tonight it might rain, and I don't know if they're going to do night. The roof. There's storylines, and you asked why you're so intoxicated by it, and I thought Dom gave a great answer. It's 3rd and 5 in the fourth quarter
That's
all
a great
the time
line.
because everything matters. Great line. It is just a pressure cooker where everything. He said Horner made the error. Doesn't make errors. That pressure. We all want to see these athletes that have been doing it for 162 who can respond and handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why we're all so intoxicated by it. And when it's a team that you watch and you care about and you see, it's you're even that much more invested in it. So it's that's why, to answer your question, why everybody is so And there's not a lot of things that get you to that point.
You're right.
In sports. Sunday at the Masters, if you have a golfer that you like. NBA, when do you get that? Maybe late in the fourth quarter? You're not feeling that way in the second quarter of an
NHL
NBA
overtime games.
Overtime.
In the playoffs.
Yep. But every inning is in overtime because
right.
that Cubs-Brewers game was done after 2 because you knocked it.
Right.
Yankees, Blue Jays, same thing.
Right. Hope that continues. All right. They moved up the locker room. I'm going to get out of here and get over to Lambeau Field so I can talk to Christian Watson, who has been had his window open for practicing. A few other guys I want to get to. I want to talk about turnovers and takeaways and the lack thereof.
Ooh, are we doing last-minute trivia today, Riles? We're going to do last segment
No,
trivia?
we're doing double trivia later in the week trivia.
Okay.
So you and Riles are going to take it home. I'm going to head to the Lambeau Field. More Wilde and Tausch, or Wilde and Tausch, next. So stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
At Wisconsin Surplus Online Auction, you won't have to worry about your old lawnmower pulling a hamstring. They make buying and selling easy. Wisconsin Surplus Online Auction is simple, reliable, and unlike your fantasy team this football season, they'll actually deliver. Have equipment taking up space? Let them be your surplus solution. You send it in, they list it, people bid, and you actually win. Bid, buy, sell, and score big today at WisconsinSurplus.com. Because winning isn't just for game day. WisconsinSurplus.com.
Time out on the field. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month?
Wayne, a whole house of new windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 60 months.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no extra interest.
And unlike opponents, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin actually stops the drafts.
Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 10/31/2025.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
'Tis the season to be planning your holiday events. Whether it's a party for 10 or 10,000, Celebrations has the sound, video, lighting, special effects, and custom-themed decor to make it the best party ever. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With us on your team, your Halloween, holiday, or New Year's party will be easy to plan and super fun to attend. DJs, casino games, lighting, and photo booths are just the beginning at CelebrationsEntertainment.com. That's CelebrationsEntertainment.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
The Midwest's best baseball players have one thing in common: GRB Academy. For 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, producing over 468 college commits and 27 major league draft picks. Their Windsor facility has 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training space. Next up to bat is GRB's Top Prospect Camp on Sunday, October 12th, open to the high school classes of 2026 through 2029. Claim your spot now at grbacademy.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's the Brewers versus the Cubs.
Line drive left center. That one's headed towards the gap and into the gap it goes.
Catch every I-94 playoff matchup right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you.
Wilde and Tausch rolls on. Riley and Tausch now, or Riles and Tausch, Yauk and Tausch. I think Riley and Tausch has the best ring to it.
I actually like Yauk and Tausch.
Yauk and Tausch?
Yauk Tausch.
Yeah. Is Tauscher, what ethnicity is that? Is that German?
There's some Bohemian, a little German.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering because Yauk is German, Tausch, like it's got a similar, that sort of aggressive sound to it. So just wondering.
Yeah, we have these. We put an S in there to just kind of soften it a little bit.
Okay, is that a
Tausch and Youch?
Tausch and Youch.
That'd be a whole different thing.
Well, without further ado, it's time to get into some Whoa Riley.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
All right, Tausch, let me paint the picture for you. So, Saturday, I'm at the Silver Eagle in Monona. Fine establishment. Excellent sports bar. We're going there for Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show. Myself and Corey Sparks. My friend.
They still got the shuffleboards in there, right?
I didn't see any shuffleboard. Not inside shuffleboard, no.
Oh.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I always thought they had shuffleboards.
Yeah, lots of tables, lots of televisions, but my friend is also there. He wanted to sit and listen to what I had to say, myself and Corey Sparks, and then also watch the Brewers-Cubs games. He's a Cubs fan. So he's sitting down, me, Corey, and my buddy, Oscar, are talking at the bar, watching the Brewers game start, watching the end of the Badgers game. Then Michael Busch hits the home run. He's going crazy. Brewers start storming back. We're going crazy. And then Blake Perkins comes to the plate. Has his 11-pitch at-bat, rips the single. Brewers are up 4-1. I walked into the bar with just my Badgers gear on. I'm hosting a Badgers show. I'm wearing Badgers. But I brought a Blake Perkins jersey that I own to put on. Thank you. So after Blake Perkins gets the big RBI after a great at-bat, I put on the Blake Perkins jersey. And then another fan at the bar, a Brewers fan, starts yelling at me like, whoa, 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 whoa. You need to come into the bar wearing your Brewers stuff. You're a bandwagon. You can't be putting it on after the game starts, after the Brewers come back and start playing well. You can't be doing that. And I was like, what? Blake Perkins just had a great at-bat, so I'm putting the jersey on. I'm talking Badgers. I'm wearing both. And he was like, nope, it's not how it works. So, in your opinion, if you're going to the bar, you have two teams on, do you have to be wearing both going in? Or is it fair or foul? Is it fair to put on the Brewers jersey after they start doing well? Or is it bandwagon?
So I would say this. You kind of threw me under the bus when I gave you an opportunity to support me when I was battling with Jason about the 1982 or the 1962 Junction Boys water. You can wear what you want. The fact that you're wearing Badger gear as the Badgers are struggling is fantastic. You're hosting the show. You're there for work. And who but a real true blue Brewers fan is going to have a second thing to wear? Bandwagon people aren't doing that. Bandwagon people are all in on the Brewers, and they're leaving their Badger gear at home. So whoever was telling you this isn't understanding the big picture. They're not looking at this. The Badger game was going to end before the Brewer game.
Mm-hmm.
You're rocking the Badger gear, even though we just have had a couple of real disappointing weeks. And that game unfortunately didn't turn our way either.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're not bringing a Robin Yount or a Paul Molitor or a Christian Yelich jersey out. You got Perk. So this guy or gal, whoever was giving you grief, nah, I'm on Team Riley on this. I think you did everything right.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you not going eye for an eye and throwing me under the bus. I appreciate that because I thought
I have to be honest about stuff.
Yeah, because I responded to him at one point with what bandwagon fan has a Blake Perkins jersey in their backpack?
Great question.
And he didn't have an answer for that. So that was my take. Appreciate your support.
Nelly!
Now, Tausch, you tweeted out something about field goals and maybe being too easy. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, I think it was who made the 53. Was it obviously New England's kicker made a big kick yesterday. Denver's kicker made a big kick to go up 4. There were a lot of – we've seen this now before. The Browns kicker makes the game winner against the G&G a couple weeks ago. And I'm kind of over it. I'm over the fact that everybody's panicking that Aubrey can make 70-yard field goals. That's not how the game of football is intended to be played. Now, they've gotten better. I would say this. There was a time, 1991, I believe, Whitney Houston blaring the national anthem during a war. It was Scott Norwood, I think, barely got a 47. He pushed it right, but it barely got there. Now these cats are kicking 60-yarders, and they're good from 75. This is not how whoever invented football, this is not what we were looking for.
Well, whoever
so I have two options here.
Okay, I'll let you finish.
I got 2 options to solve this. It's too easy to make kicks. It is too easy. We either need to narrow the goalpost, which I am totally on board with.
Okay.
And it won't be that hard. I don't know how far you want to bring it in, but you want to make it. I love the fact it's penal if you miss, and you get the ball spotted at where they spotted it for the kick. Or, and this is where I think, and I hadn't even thought of this, no more K-balls. You kick what your quarterback was just throwing. Let's be done with that. You get to doctor up the K-balls. You get them all pretty and shiny and whatever you want to do. Dunzo. You're kicking. If that ball just slopped in the mud, you're kicking a mud ball.
Wait.
We'll dry it off for you, but no, we're done with K-balls. I want them out.
Okay, maybe I might show my youth being a casual fan here. I didn't know. So they swap out the balls for kicking? It's not the same football?
Yes. That is correct.
Okay, so every time you line up for a field goal, it's a fresh football with, I'm assuming, more tack on it than the one that's dirtied up.
Yes.
Okay, that's fascinating. I didn't know that. But push back on your first topic that this isn't how football is meant to be played. Whoever invented football, I don't think envisioned the forward pass. I think they'd hate football nowadays. They'd probably say it was weak and soft.
Well,
it's flinging the ball around.
Let me tell you something. They wouldn't think it was weak when they're getting royalty checks for inventing football.
Fair enough.
So it's just, here's the deal. I think kicking has gotten too easy. That is not what it's just not what football should be. We shouldn't be having guys kicking 68-yard field goals and being like, oh, yeah, that's just part of the deal.
But isn't there something to be said? Isn't there something to be said for, like, excellence, though, in your craft? Like, kickers just getting better and better and learning how – because it doesn't look like kickers have gotten much bigger. Like, they're figuring out the mechanics.
You kick the normal football. Just like I would say in golf, let's go back to the old golf ball. Let's stop juicing all these things up. Because are they really getting better? You don't think Ben Hogan would drive the golf ball a ton if he's using this equipment stuff? Of course they would. So, no. It's not as all these kickers are so much better. Yeah, they're better. But let's give them an old slop ball and see how they're doing.
Is that how it used to?
It's just too easy now. So I want to change it. And if you're kicking slop balls 60 yards, I'm great with it. But I don't want it fresh and clean. No.
Okay.
One or the other.
So
they will do something to change this.
When you played, were they kicking slop balls? Or was it still K-balls, as you called them?
At some point in my career, K-balls came into play.
Okay.
And the kicking, I'm going to say this.
I was just going to ask, was that a big deal at the time, or did that just kind of like slowly, that just happened? Or was this like a big deal like the NFL introduced
Riley,
it?
I ain't going to lie to you. I didn't have time to worry about all that.
Okay.
Now I do, and I can sit here and tell you that this should happen. I just was worrying about blocking people and trying to make a living. So I wasn't worried about K-balls and anything else. I just knew when we lined up, we weren't going to attempt anything over 55, 56 yards. Now these kids are kicking 70 yards. Come on. So we'll see if it happens. I would bet the NFL Competition Committee will do something. I don't know what it's going to be, but I would bet something changes in the next offseason.
All right.
Whoa, Riley.
Whoa, Nelly. Last thing I got for you, Tausch. I don't know. Did you tune in to the Panthers-Dolphins game yesterday? Did you happen to see any of the discourse on Twitter surrounding the commentator of said game?
No.
All right. Well, his name's Eric Collins. He does the play-by-play broadcast for the Charlotte Hornets. He did the Badgers-Middle Tennessee game earlier this year. Here's a snippet of what the Panthers-Dolphins game sounded like yesterday.
Tagovailoa has Waddle. He's open. Touchdown. And Donald, look at him. What kind of speed do you get, young man? To the end zone. Achan. Did he? He did. Look at this. Donald still on his feet. Caught back in the end zone. Xavier Leggett. Tagovailoa.
All right, I feel like that's a good taste of Eric Collins on the call.
Little snapshot.
Yeah, so
I love it.
Okay, that was going to be my question.
So I think that you can overdo things. Part of the greatness of great announcers is knowing the moment and then being able to paint that picture. Or the thing that I can't stand, now I got after Bob Costas and I think people got after Al Michaels, is some of these guys, I think you've done it so long that you don't still have that excitement when a big moment comes. Like fans, I think almost every fan would love to do these jobs because they think they're good at it, but you want to feel the excitement of what's going on. And if you as an announcer don't have that, you're probably in the wrong spot. So this cat is he's enthused. He's excited about this opportunity. And he wants you to make sure to know when big plays happen, he is just as excited as you are. And I think that's a good thing when it comes to announcing.
Okay, I would agree. I love listening to Eric Collins. I don't know if you went and watched any of the highlights of Middle Tennessee,
I like
Wisconsin
Phil better.
On video.
I think Phil's better.
Okay, Phil
Collins.
Phil Collins? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll bump back with some Phil Collins. But he has a call like on Tretch's long run. He's like, Kakahuna! Touchdown! He's just going nuts, exactly like he did there. So I love Eric
Sounds
Collins.
like the youngster on that Prep Mania game coming up this weekend.
Yeah, may have to. Milton Redhawks, Sun Prairie East Cardinals coming up this Friday. Gonna be a good one. Make sure to tune in. That's it for Whoa Riley. We wrap up the show next. This is Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. Falling short at the Big House. Wisconsin football dropping its third straight, a 24-10 loss at Michigan. The Badgers' opening drive score turning heads, but the Wolverines eventually taking control. Where's Wisconsin coming up empty? Riley Auk dropping his take on the Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show.
Wisconsin needs a playmaker desperately. Even though they played clean, they played solid, they played tough. When you're the underdog, you're the worst team, you need someone to be able to make a game-changing play, and clearly Wisconsin doesn't have it.
Get a whole house of new Pella windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 60 months.
Wow. Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the executive director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Grassland butter is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin. Grassland is family owned and has been crafting butter for 5 generations. That's why at Grassland Butter, you're more than just an employee, you're family. The Wietrich family believes in supporting each other, growing together, and building a workplace where everyone feels valued. Your voice matters at Grassland Dairy. Your success is our success. Join a team where culture isn't just a buzzword, it's how we live every day. Check us out online at grassland.com. That's grassland.com.
At Siding Unlimited, we're really excited for the fall season. Not only are we proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, we are also fired up for an exciting fall season cheering on football and volleyball. If that's not enough, we're really excited to share with you that Siding Unlimited is Wisconsin's best window and door installation team. Siding Unlimited is a Pella Platinum Premier National Contractor of the Year award winner 5 times. Looking for new windows and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank, you get even more. Like 10% off food and 10% off drinks on game day. Like that ice-cold beer in your hand. Plus 15% off Pro Shop gear. Only with Packers checking. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here, and your seat at the table just got better at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Return to Hard Rock Casino Rockford's high limit room where the odds are in your favor. With enhanced game rules including blackjack where the dealer stands on soft 17, you'll enjoy better odds, faster play, and the kind of authentic high limit action that sets Hard Rock Casino Rockford apart. Visit the high limit room and rediscover your game on your terms, in your rhythm, and with your edge at Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
It's the Brewers versus the Cubs.
Fly ball left center field. This is well struck. This is gone!
Catch the call of every I-94 playoff matchup right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Little Phil Collins playing us out on this Monday edition of
Did you think
Wilde
for a
and
minute
Tausch?
Phil Collins was a Brewers baseball player?
No, I thought you. I don't know why you said Phil, and I was like, is he talking about Phil Simms, the broadcaster, former quarterback of the Giants? That was my first thought. It took me longer than I would like to get to Phil Collins. But the Brewers taking on the Cubs tonight in Game 2 of the NLDS. Tausch, what's your game day look like? You're going to a Brewers game. What is your evening going to look like?
So I will head down to Milwaukee probably earlier. I'm going to meet up with the guys that are going to the game. Probably around, 5:30, and then try to get over there 6:37ish, get an hour and a half of, hour and 8 minutes of little lead-in time. I was unable to obviously go Saturday. I love playoff baseball. I love going to Brewers games, but like Dom said, there's just something, it's unique, and to be in that environment, I cannot wait to get down to AmFam Field.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to watch the game tonight. I'm on pins and needles. I'm excited. So, Brewers Cubs tonight, NLDS Game 2. You can listen right here on 100.5 ESPN. Pregame coverage begins at 7:30. Thank you, Tausch, for letting me fill in. Been a fantastic show today. Jason, Tausch, And I believe Jesse will be back tomorrow for the Tuesday edition of Wilde and Tausch. In the words of one Jason Wilde, thanks for coming along. Take care, be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Pizza lovers, when the craving hits, hit back with Pizza Hut's $5 crafted flats pizzas. Mark Tauscher here, and new at Pizza Hut, 5 bold, hand-stretched personal pizza recipes. 3 cheese, pepperoni,